6, who are the best players to go get if you need to make a move. You're not going to win. Your team is in shambles right now. You're suffering through bye weeks mixed with injuries and things that you can't necessarily recover from. You're looking at your team straight in the eye, and you say, this team's not going to win the championship. I need to divide and conquer, trade one player, Stefon Diggs, for 2 players. What 2 players could be good enough to get for Stefon Diggs? Should you even trade Stefon Diggs? We're going to get into all these players on screen here. Week number 6, buy lows 2023. We're also going to break down some of the waiver wire updates that we have with Keontae Ingram, who is now listed as the number 1 running back on the Cardinals roster. Doesn't necessarily mean he won't split equal time with DeMarcado, but it throws a monkey wrench into that situation just a little bit. So make sure you race to the waiver wire and see if Keontae Ingram is available if you did grab DeMarcado. We're going to break down all that and more, your super chats, everything, the Fantasy Football Show. It begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So let's start off real quickly with this piece of news here. Again, this is from Schefter on Twitter. He says latest Cardinals depth chart has running back Keontae Ingram as the starter and Amari DeMarcado as his backup. But let's be careful not to make assumptions on either side at this point. I think both these guys are probably pretty darn good grabs if you could only get one of them, if you manage to get one. But if you grab DeMarcado, you have to run to the waiver wire and see if Keontae Ingram is still there. In very casual leagues, he will be. In very shark-infested waters, he might not be. But that doesn't mean he won't be a good play. It's tough to know. It's very tough to know. Breaking down some of the other news and notes, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just show this screen one more time. We're buying these guys to some degree that are on screen right now. There are other players that we definitely want to potentially scoop up. These are not all of them, but these are some of the best buy lows in week number 6 on. And I do have 2 injured players here in HN and AR5. Players that I do recommend some people trade away, and players I recommend some people don't trade away. Some people go grab. Some people hold. It just really depends on your situation and your vantage point. Everybody thinks that when I say buy HN or sell HN that is confusing, and they think I'm flip-flopping on it for some reason, but this is called adjust and adapt season. And if you don't own HN, you might be able to go get him very cheaply and get him for deals that we're not suggesting people receive. We're talking about taking advantage of somebody. Let's say you've got a George Pickens who we do like a lot, but somebody's like, I need a wide receiver bad and a running back. And you could send Zach Moss and George Pickens to go get Devon Achane. I've seen that done, that type of trade, that specific trade once, but more trades like it than you can imagine in the last 12 to 24 hours. I've also seen the flip side where a ton of people have traded away Achane for garbage. So I know people are panicking. I've also seen people trade away Achane and get a Devontae Smith and an Aaron Jones by giving up Achane and something small like a Nico Collins or a Tank Dell or a player along those lines. So there's tons of opportunity to go get potential studs like Achane down and out. Go get Taylor down and out. But you most certainly 100% need to explore all of these opportunities. Swift is on the buy low, on the down low right now. Devontae Smith you can get way cheaper than he should be. He's still a low-end wide receiver 1. Chris Olave, very, very cheap right now because people are petrified of not only his quarterback situation, but they're scared of other things like his toe. And I'm not saying there isn't a concern. If you own him, there's some concern level, sure. But he did score a touchdown last week. He does have a backup quarterback there in Winston that tosses up amazing air yards. Fantastic go-get player. Definitely make sure you're exploring all this. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Make sure Amon-Ra St. Brown is 100% on your buy low list. Travis Kelce suffering not only the injury, the knee injury, just being hampered, not breaking out yet. Mahomes slumping. There's a lot of factors at play there that make people think, okay, there's too many things going wrong in KC with the injury and also the fact that Kelce's been banged up. 100% one of the best buy lows walking into the remaining parts of the season. Bijan Robinson, you might be surprised. You might be surprised that Bijan Robinson is attainable at values you've never even dreamed of getting him at. Right now, Bijan Robinson is one of the most attractive buy lows walking into week 6 and beyond. Okay, so if you can find the owner that's 1-5 or 1-4 or 0-5 that owns Bijan Robinson, I can almost guarantee you they are really, really contemplating trading him, because on my text line, my thefantasyfootballshow.com text line, where your boy gets more questions than you can imagine, I have the temperature and pulse of the community more than I think anybody else in the fantasy industry, because I literally get swamped with freak out Freddy messages that say, I got to move on from Bijan. What can I get for Bijan? I'm 0-5. I'm 1-5. I got to move on from Bijan. I know for a fact that Bijan is attainable more so than he's ever been. And I know that you could potentially put together a trade that is going to look ridiculous 2 or 3 weeks from now. Is there a chance that Bijan gets held back constantly? Is there a chance that Bijan Robinson for 3 more weeks is misused? Could he be misused all season long? The answer to that is it's possible. And I wish it wasn't, but it is possible. But there's also, I think, a very strong chance that his talent starts to shine through so much that this team starts feeding him the rock. Some are kicking around ideas of what if Kirk Cousins gets traded to the Atlanta Falcons? What if Kirk Cousins goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers? What if Kirk Cousins goes to the New York Jets? I know some of you think that's laughable, but there is that possibility if the Vikings decide to pack it in, start preparing for 2024 and beyond, looking to get Caleb Williams, trying to take a little bit of a dive and putting Justin Jefferson on the shelf for the entire season. JJ's not really on this list, although I do think JJ in certain avenues could be a good buy low, but for the most part, I kind of feel like JJ is trending in the direction of missing way more time than we want. I don't think they rush him back. If this team, the Vikings, has 2 or 3 wins by the time this 4-week span passes, and they're literally about midway through the season and they've got 2 wins, if anybody thinks JJ is going to push it and try and get back just a little bit too early, they're not going to let him. They've even said we're going to protect JJ from himself, and they're going to make the call whether JJ hits the field. I have a feeling the Vikings are potentially going to be more interested in 2024 than at all even contemplating playing well in 2023 because of the fact that they have good draft capital. So hang tight on JJ, I guess, if you've got him, unless you can sell him for a Devontae Smith and something, and a Olave and something. At some point, I probably will tell you to take just those guys straight up. Pollard, very good buy low right now. People are freaking out about that offense for good reason. There are some red flags. And let me just preface that on this list of players right here, there are red flags all over the place. You can't buy a player dirt cheap or very low when we say buy low unless there's a red flag reason for it. And so we've got to look at these situations and say, okay, are these dismissible red flags? Can we dismiss Aaron Jones's red flags of not showing up lately? Yeah, because they rested him, I think because they were going into a bye. And they said, let's give him 1 more week. He'll be 100% healthy. Let's try and win this game. Didn't work out, but they didn't re-injure him. He'll probably be a very attractive go-get player, I think, going forward, because he's going to have this bye in week number 6, which is not advantageous at all. But then week 7 on, he'll probably be healthy. He'll be bye-week free. And if you have a way of sneaking into your playoffs and you have Aaron Jones full go, you're going to be in a very good position. So potentially trading JJ for an Aaron Jones and a player would be advantageous. These are great buy lows. Ayuk and Debo, they rotate sometimes as to who's going to play better. This guy's been getting the most targets last week, and the week prior, the most snaps. So it's not like he's not on the field. He's so injured he isn't playing. He's been playing badly, but you can get him thrown into a Devontae Smith for a JJ, like Devontae Smith Debo for JJ. You could potentially trade an RB, like, I don't know. You could maybe get rid of a Pollard and get a Debo and a pretty significant running back like Aaron Jones. You could probably get rid of a player like, I mean, there's so many options. We'll go through them with your specific scenarios in a minute, but these are the best buy lows heading into week number 6, and I just think that it is super advantageous to go get these guys right now before a couple of them every single week are gonna fly off of the buy low list. And rebound. So once they have a big game, they're off. Nobody's going to sell them low. I don't care if they've had 2 or 3 slump games in a row like Devontae Smith. The moment Devontae Smith pops off, he's off the table in terms of buying low. Jeff Wilson, let me go through the news real quick, then we'll go to the super chats and phone calls. Jeff Wilson was limited in Wednesday's practice. This is looking a little more bleak for him to be available in week 6 when he was kind of thought to be the guy that's going to come back and kind of save. Mostert's still the number 1, but kind of come back and save the duality of the rushing attack, right? So that Mostert and Wilson could kind of rotate. But I would say he's very 50-50 at this point. Maybe trending on slightly the wrong side of 50-50, but that could change in a second. Jeff Wilson still needs to be grabbed if for some reason he's available in your grandma league. But Jeff Wilson is definitely banged up at this moment in time, so it's tough to say what's in store for him this week. That means Mostert is going to be an absolute monster this week if he's the main starter, the main top dog. Jordan Addison was limited in Wednesday's practice. There's some thinking that he's on the right side of 50-50, but that's still something to be a little bit concerned about. So if you have Addison, make sure you understand that he is very questionable. Higgins is limited in practice on Wednesday, so there's some optimism he'll play, but there's also some thinking that because they're going into a bye week after this week, that they may sit him one more week, so you have to monitor that situation. He's been a huge disappointment so far. Javonte Williams is off the injury report, which is great news. We still don't know what the pecking order is. If he's released in any leagues that you have, you might want to jump out, grab him, and stash him, because he could resurge at some point, and everybody that gave up on him might be disappointed in themselves. And he has a lot of red flags, so it's not like he's a guarantee by any means either, but I think he's a great pickup. Chris Olave toe was limited in practice on Wednesday. Again, this kind of comes back to why we see Olave as a very good buy low, because there is a red flag injected into the situation, but I do believe that this injury does not appear to be something that's going to limit him too much. He did score. He was definitely not 100% himself, but I think with the extra time that he's had right now to heal up, and he's getting some limited practices in, I think that, he's trending and obviously in the right direction to play. I think he'll be fine, and Olave is worth the risk given the cost of entry. The cost of entry is nowhere near an elite wide receiver 1, so I think even if he's banged up a little bit now, your assumption is that he gets out of that stage, gets healed up, and you end up stealing away a high-end wide receiver 1, or at least a mid-range wide receiver 1 at clearly what people are putting him at is maybe near like wide receiver, mid-range to high-end wide receiver 2 value. Nico Collins is Ridley gave up too much? I don't know, Kenneth, you got to type that better. Mike Evans' hamstring did not practice Wednesday. He's very questionable right now at this point. Very disappointing because he had such a strong start, but this is why a lot of people did avoid him, even though it looked silly a couple weeks in. 4 weeks in, he's banged up, he's older, but he's still a great player to go get or hold. Not necessarily, you're not going to get much for him in a trade, though. Keaton Mitchell, shoulder, gets a full practice in. This is a player to watch. You may not see him get fully unleashed walking into week number 6 or ever, but we do know that this Ravens backfield is very, very inconsistent, and they're looking for something. And so I think that, he's somebody you need to monitor. When we go back to the waiver wire order here, let me put the adjusted waiver wire order back up on screen. I've moved Spears up to 1 at this moment. Now, I know everybody's waivers have processed, but I think it's important to keep this pecking order updated throughout the week and reference it all week long. I don't think very many shows out there, if any, do what we do, which is have a revolving, ongoing, rolling waiver wire list that we kind of tweak and tinker with all week long. Even though waiver is a process, it gives you a good idea. Maybe you picked up 2 of these guys and you want to know what the value is for me walking forward, and things are ever changing. And if anybody's upset that we had DeMarcado higher than Spears and Roschon prior to this moment in time heading into the week, it's ever evolving. We're doing so much guesswork walking out of week number 5 heading into week number 6 without any big news, without a lot of updates. Super chats are coming next. Thank you, Superfish, for that $20 hauler. I'll be getting to that in just a second. But it is what it is. And Ingram being listed as the number 1 running back doesn't mean DeMarcado is going to fall off the face of the earth. It just means that he's going to potentially see a competition for carries. I think Ingram being listed 1 definitely gives Ingram the slight advantage right away. But DeMarcado's a strong runner, a fun runner, a workhorse-looking runner. He's got the ideal size and build of a workhorse back. And I just think that the Cardinals will deploy a hot hand at some point during the game, but nothing's guaranteed. And if Ingram's out there, you have to grab him if you have DeMarcado, or grab him anyway, because he is technically speaking the number 1 listed running back on the depth chart after the waiver wire stuff was all processed for pretty much everybody. Ingram is probably out there in grandma leagues, probably not out there in shark leagues, but these 2 are kind of a must-have right now, because the next 4 weeks with Connor on IR missing at least 4 games, this is, you're just unsure. This is a good combo to have. I think you will have a good player at some point, but you might walk into week 6 starting the wrong one. Just know that. Roschon didn't clear the concussion protocol yet. He did not practice. I have news on that in a second, but he's still very much in line to be the starter once he returns. So let's say in a worst case scenario, he doesn't play this week. Foreman starts, doesn't do too much. Roschon will be cleared. The team will be very much looking for a little bit of a injection of excitement in the run game if Foreman doesn't produce. But Foreman's pretty decent. You might want to make sure Deontay Foreman, who's down here, we probably move him up right now to this territory. You might want to make sure Deontay Foreman isn't available, especially if you own Roschon, because he may get the start. He may be the better play this week, even if let's say Roschon's cleared, but they're very ambiguous about things and he doesn't get the start or something crazy. Anything can happen. So Foreman and Roschon should be cuffed. DeMarcado and Ingram should be cuffed. But one of these guys, and it might not be clear until after week 6, one of these guys should be the lead dog, Foreman or Roschon. One of these dogs, DeMarcado and Ingram, should be the lead dog walking into the remaining 3 games where we expect these guys to be starting in place of their starters. Now, Khalil Herbert was not put on the injured reserve, unlike JJ, Achan, Connor. So the thinking is the team probably firmly believes that Khalil may not need to miss 4 games. Why put him on IR then? If they put him on IR, that means their second opinions and all the research they've been doing points to him probably missing 4 games, and so they'll put him on IR. I move Spears to number 1 because Spears right now, and I love Bigsby and Charbonnet. These are league winners. Spears, Roschon, Bigsby, Charbonnet. League winners. And again, this revolving waiver wire order is here for 100,000 different reasons. It's not here to necessarily help you with your blind bid first wave of waiver wire choices. And it certainly probably won't necessarily help you at this point to keep it rolling to pick up these guys. Because a lot of these guys, unless you're looking down later on this list, all these top guys are probably taken unless you're in a big league with small benches, or a small league with small benches, or a medium-sized league with small benches. But the point is, this is to give you an idea of the value ranges. It's kind of like it's a ranking. And if I don't keep this ranking updated, what good is the waiver wire content? So we're going to keep it updated. Sometimes it'll be disappointing that DeMarcado is not quite as attractive at this moment in time, and some of us blew a lot of fab on him. He's still very, very, very exciting, and if you can cuff him to Ingram, you're going to be fine. But Spears is right now, at this moment in time, the most attractive running back at this moment. Charbonnet could change in a snap. Bigsby change in a snap. Knock on wood. We don't want anything happen to Walker. We don't want anything happening to ETN. These two guys, Charbonnet and Bigsby, being on this waiver wire list as win a league sleeping giants has nothing to do with my belief in Walker or my belief in ETN. It's just they're so good. They're the best backups in the league practically. Two of the best backups. Spears too. If they get their shot in their specific offenses, especially Charbonnet in Seattle, Bigsby in Jacksonville, well-oiled rushing attacks, things are churning, things are humming in those offenses, and if they get a shot, they're winning leagues. But Spears is the perfect combo of everything. You can use him now. He's a bye week filler. Amazing. Injury filler. Amazing. Shot at a touchdown nearly every other week or a little bit more than that. A shot at 50-plus yards every week. And if he gets into his lineup, even though he's got one ACL and I have no real long-term feeling on him, I really don't. Dynasty, I'm taking it 1 year at a time. The fact that he doesn't have to play a full season as the starter, he's going to come in at some point if Derrick Henry gets injured, not wishing injury upon Henry, but he's a 29-year-old running back with mileage we've never seen before. And you can date back to high school when he was getting 400- and 500-yard games every single week. This guy's mileage and tread, there's no tread left on Derrick Henry. So if Spears gets injected into the lineup at some point as the starter, given how explosive he looks, he will absolutely be league winning. So he moves to the top at this current moment. Again, gave you the information on that. Let's go back to the buy lows real quick, finish the injury updates, and get straight to the super chat, starting with a $20 hauler. So Barkley's another player I want to talk about. He's limited in Wednesday's practice, and Barkley should be considered very 50-50, but on the right side of 50-50, just barely, like he's leaning that way, but still very, very questionable to be playing in week number 6. Roshan Johnson, concussion protocol, he is not out of yet. So we're waiting and seeing on that one. And if he gets out of that, then he'll probably be named the starter. Maybe not. Maybe Roshan or Deonta Foreman's named the starter. That's kind of like Keontae Ingram. We don't fully 100% know. But I do think Roshan, they drafted this kid for a reason. They're very excited about him. They've used him at the end of games in the 2-minute drill in very, very crucial times. I don't know why they would change directions at this moment, but anything's possible. Travis Kelce listed as questionable for Thursday's game, but got in a limited session. So he's fully trending in the right direction. This is precautionary. The fact that the Thursday game is a quick turnaround is really the big monkey wrench in this situation, but I would say at this moment in time, if I had to throw my own percentage on this, what is appearing to be a 50-50 call, I'd say 80% chance really that he's going to play. And this is just a precautionary listing. And then the final piece of news, then we go straight to the super chats. After a little recap of the buy low, I'll give you a sentence or two recapping all these buy lows. Jonathan Taylor, Shane Steichen, Colts coach, said the team will ramp up Jonathan Taylor's workload in week 6 versus the Jaguars. Ramp up, what's that mean? Hopefully it means he gets a majority of the work, but we don't fully know. And if somebody says, do I start Zach Moss or Taylor, I can't, with 100% confidence, go, Taylor. You got to go Taylor. They paid him the money. I don't know. They could hot hand this thing. We don't fully know, but if I have Taylor, I'm probably starting Taylor. He did get paid a bag. It would be so unorthodox to pay someone the amount of money they just paid Taylor and allow Zach Moss to hold on to a big portion of the carries if he's ready to go, because he did well last week. They don't necessarily look at it that way in the NFL. He's getting paid the big dollars. They just gave him the contract. I truly believe that what Zach Moss did, Taylor would have done easily, if not better. And I know a lot of people are going to jump on the bandwagon real quick and just say, no, Zach Moss is amazing. Look, Zach Moss is a good running back. He's not a great running back. He's a good running back. He looked fantastic in week number 5. I can at least admit that. And we'll go ahead and
to the moon.
Send Zach Moss to the moon. In fact, he did so well. But the bottom line is JT is a better athlete on every level, and JT would have done everything Zach Moss did and probably more. So if I own JT, I'm starting JT. Again, buy lows. Taylor, buy him low. Buy him low. You've got troubles. You're in troubled waters right now. You're 1-4. You're 0-5. You might need to divide and conquer. If you've got Diggs and you're 1-5, and you take an honest inventory, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can't win. You filthy animal. Why did you draft that way? Why did you in disgusting fashion draft that way? I need to make a trade. If you look in the mirror and you're saying those things about your team and yourself, you may have to divide and conquer, which on this show is taking one player, turning it into two players, but strategically turning it into two players that both arguably could hold their own against the player you're giving up. The one monster you're giving up, both the players you're getting, like a Debo and Aaron Jones, could arguably fight and fend for their right and their honor of going up against just Pollard. If that was the trade, as an example, Pollard for Debo and Aaron Jones, and you throw in a Nico or something like that, and therefore you're getting the person to give you that extra player. It's hard to trade a Pollard for Debo and Aaron Jones, but I think when you throw that little extra something in that's doing pretty well, then all of a sudden you got a deal, because the person is sitting there drooling about the idea of having the best player in the trade. But when Aaron Jones could fight and fend for against Pollard, when Debo could, if Aaron Jones went down for the year and you got these two in a trade, Debo could fend against Pollard, potentially. Not saying you draft him over that player, but that's how you do a one player traded away from your team for two. You want to be able to say with confidence, each individual player on their own, if something happened to the other, could fight against the player I'm giving up. That's how you trade. That's trade 101, at least it is in this part of the country here on the Fantasy Football Show. And now we've got $20 haulers to get to. Oscar with the $20 hauler. Oscar throwing that $20 hauler right on screen immediately. Superfish coming in strong with a $20 hauler. That means I need to get some reps in. But I'm going to do tries today because we've been doing curls so much. I want to make sure I get the tries in. I didn't get a chance to do them yesterday, so we're doing tries today. And I'm not going to keep doing this for the length and lifetime of the show. Just once I'm fully ripped and I look like I'm in great shape by Halloween, I think we'll stop it on Halloween night. I will stop doing working out once I get $20 haulers. I just thought it was a great way to maybe motivate people as well to see me transform in front of you. So far, I'm not transformed yet. I don't want to get too excited. But I think by Halloween, I will be ripped. And I think it will be a nice little indication and reminder that in a 30-day time frame, you can really do anything if you want. HN is tucked away safely on my IR spot. Am I also now the proud owner of Hamstrung JJ, and hope he helps me later. Traded Kyron straight up for him. Now I only have 7 great running backs. It's a win-win. You did have a lot of depth, Superfish, so I think it worked out well for you. Hopefully JJ comes back. There's still a shot that he doesn't come back at all, but there's also a shot that he comes back after 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Everyone's like, what? Why would the Vikings do this? Maybe the Vikings win the next 2 games somehow, some way. Who the hell knows? So why not take the chance? It's a fun chance to take. If you are still in the playoff hunt and both these guys come back and you're even within striking distance, you're going to be doing it live. And appreciate you dropping that super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
We're going to do 15 of the triceps. We need to do the triceps. The triceps feel like they haven't worked at all. I can barely even see it. There's a little bit of line. It looks like I took a marker and just went like that. You can barely see the tri at all. I've been neglecting the triceps like crazy. That's going to change starting today. We're rotating in the tris. Appreciate you, Superfish, for dropping the super chat. $20 hauler from Oscar. 5-0, but have JJ Hurts, Camaro, Walker, Hopkins, Amon-Ra, Goddard, Gabe Davis, London, Roshan, Keaton Mitchell, Elijah Mitchell, Keaton Mitchell. Down CD Lamb owner might be looking to move. Gabe Davis in London for Lamb. Absolutely 100%.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's 100% an easy trade to execute on, for sure. And would I even do something different, like give up Downs in as well, or potentially Hopkins to get CeeDee Lamb? Like I'd rather keep Hopkins. He had a really nice day, But would I trade Hopkins and potentially Gabe Davis to do that? Probably. But Hopkins is kind of nice right now. I almost feel like you can sell Hopkins like a lot higher than that if you were to get like crafty. First super chat of the day is from Drop. Drop, you get a standing O. All first super chats of the day get a standing ovation. Okay, appreciate you. Drop with the super says the following. Trade Walker and Pickens for Amon-Ra and Javonte. Have Bijan, Hall, Walker, Kyron, Pacheco, Roshan at running back, and Garrett Wilson, Watson, Pickens, McLaurin. Trade Walker and Pickens for Amon-Ra and Javonte. I would probably say no because Walker's already had his bye week. It's such an advantage. When you think about it, that's like a 15-point, depending on your scoring, advantage you're getting. You know, it's almost like saying, like I'll draft Amon-Ra St. Brown in the offseason, but he's suspended for week 1. And then it's like, do you draft Amon-Ra suspended for week 1? Because there's a 1 week difference between these two players right now. Or do you draft Walker, who's not suspended for week 1? That's the way my mind looks at it. And when Walker's already right level with Amon-Ra, if Amon-Ra's healthy, then I think it's pretty close. The fact that there's a game difference, I'm going to say no to that. I like your team a lot. I think Pacheco potentially to go get a Devonta Smith, Pacheco to go get an Olave, to go get an Amon-Ra. I'm probably more inclined to go in that direction. I'd probably be more inclined to give up, let's say, a Pacheco and a McLaurin to get maybe a Amon-Ra. I think those things work a little bit better. That's where I take this. I don't make that trade. Appreciate your super chat. $5 hauler from Charles Smitty. My boy, I appreciate all you do, but somebody dropped Stevenson. It's so funny the verbiage here, as if I did something wrong. Smitty, my boy, I appreciate all you do, but somebody dropped Stevenson. Okay, can you do something about that? I appreciate you, Charles. I'm gonna put these blue light blocking glasses on so I don't get a migraine here. Reading all these questions. Stevenson in my league, should I pick him up? Absolutely, Charles. Great question. Go after Jeff Wilson or maybe Ingram. I think you got to get Jeff Wilson over, not over Stevenson. Maybe Stevenson then Jeff Wilson, but I get both. But Stevenson needs to be scooped up immediately, because even he could be a bust. He could be a bust all year long. He could get worse. Things could unravel. But Stevenson is so talented. It's not his fault. It's the situation. It's Bill Belichick. It's the offense. It's Mac Jones. Mac Jones is garbage, as we said all offseason. I'm sorry, Travis. I know Travis is a big Patriots fan, but he just looks awful. And Bill's going to start him again. Like, what in the hell are you doing? Put Malik Cunningham in there. Rise Malik Cunningham up. Elevate the man and put Malik Cunningham into the lineup, who's the best quarterback on the roster. Active or not active, he's the best quarterback. I don't know what in the hell Bill Belichick's doing. I don't know if he has it anymore. I really don't know. I think he's probably done. Bill Belichick is absolute garbage right now. And so Stevenson, it's not his fault. But could he rebound? Possibly. Is Jeff Wilson an absolute grab? 100%. But I would prioritize Stevenson and Wilson, but grab both of them 1,000%. Thank you for your question. I don't know who to drop, though. You're going to have to determine that. $5 hauler from Case. I have Bijan, but running back 2 is Najee with the bye this week. Charles, only other running back. Or Sharbs, only other running back. Pick up Charbonnet. There's no one on waivers. What do you mean there's no one on waivers? One of my top waiver wire pickups for the year is on waivers. What do you mean there's no one on waivers? If this guy's on waivers, your waiver wire is actually pretty smooth, because Charbonnet is a league winner. I pick him up no matter what, and he's a pretty decent flex play. So you run out there, young man, and you grab your Zach Charbonnet, and you put him on your roster, and you start him this week if you're in shambles. There's no 14-man league. Trade TJ Hawkinson for Goddard and B-Rob. No, you don't need to do that, because B-Rob and Charbonnet might be similar. So you go get Charbonnet, Case. You do a full load drop on that, because that's not only got league-winning potential, he'll help you this week and do some pretty decent things. He's not a lock for anything, but they seem to want to be using him more and more. And I think that maybe continues a little bit. 14 1 PPR. Give Hill for Bijan and Waddle. I probably would only do this if your team cannot win with Tyreek Hill. Listen, look into my eyes. If you're winning with Tyreek Hill, you don't make a change, young man. You don't make a change at all because your team isn't broken. Don't try and fix it. But if you're like 1 win, 2 wins, and you've got yourself an opportunity to get an extra player like Waddle that should start going upward in terms of value. Bijan's going upward in terms of value. Hill's going to continue to ball out, but you're not winning with him. This is a pretty good move. I'd try and squeak out a little more somehow, some way, just because you're giving up a guy that would probably arguably go in the top 3 or 4 overall, maybe higher. So I think you have the ability to ask for more. I don't think it's greedy, and I don't think it makes him run because you're giving up a monster. Appreciate you. Thinking of trading Pollard for DeMarcado and Olave or Ayuk. I would definitely do something along the lines of Olave and a running back. But DeMarcado, we like him, but we just got word today that Keontae Ingram is the number 1 listed running back. Not saying that negates anything that we've been talking about as far as DeMarcado's upside. He still could grab the job. They could hot hand this thing. They could give Keontae the between the 20s and then inside the 20s in the red zone, hand the ball to DeMarcado because he scored a touchdown last week. They trust him near the goal line. He could have 2 touchdowns and 40 yards, and Keontae Ingram could have 89 total yards. So that's kind of the way I kind of look at this Cardinals running back field. So I'd probably say, like, that's not enough. Like, DeMarcado's a waiver wire pickup and a very fun one, but he's not something that closes the gap between Olave and a starting running back in a climate of no starting running backs. The running back position's in shambles, bro. This is nowhere near enough. Also traded Miles Sanders for Conklin and Gibbs. Is that approved? I mean, if Gibbs does fire off, it will be very good. I don't know what Sanders' value is right now, to be honest. I think, Gibbs is definitely a better long-term option, but Sanders is better now, so it kind of depends on what you need for it. $10 hauler from Bryson coming in with a strong one. Bryson says, hey, Smitty, let me fix this, because every time I go to the screen, I gotta switch it out. And I want to make sure I don't continue having to click that same freaking button every single time. Let me move this over to this screen. There we go. Let's see here. Where were we at? This one right here from Bryson. PPR 10-man 3-2. Burrow, Eckler, Pollard, Hall, Olave, Ridley, Higgins. Good team. Charbonnet, Roshan, Spears, DeMarcado. You got a great stable of bench players. Stroud, JJ on IR. Lost Chubb. I mean, you're doing really good considering you lost Chubb. You can tell you've been wheeling and dealing. I love this team. This team shouldn't have JJ. You got a really good squad considering you lost Justin Jefferson. So if I'm you, I'm riding this team into the sunset. I think it's going to do well. You're 3-2 for a reason. You've got Spears waiting in the wings. I just sit tight. I don't think you're trading T. Higgins on the high. I don't think you're trading any of these guys on the high. Some of them are building their value back. Even Eckler, I don't trade him. He's a guy I want to target. So he's bye-week free going forward. This is a great team. This is a great team. I ride this into the sunset and into the playoffs. Some teams are just not meant to be tinkered with, bro. Dawson, appreciate your $5 hauler. 1 and 4 starters are JF1, K9, Pacheco, Chase, Olave, Ridley, Conklin, benches, T-Law, McLaughlin, McKinnon, London, Flowers, Dell, Kincaid, any moves. I like Fields and Walker. Walker's bye-week free. Pacheco, Chase, Olave, no. These are all players I'm targeting. You two, funny that you're back-to-back with your super chats, but you two are a stand-down candidate.
Alert. Stand-down order in effect.
Sometimes moves are just not meant to be made for some of your teams. At least not yet. 3-2. Looks like I got another W this week. Got offered Achane for St. Brown or Hall. You can't do that. This is what we're trying to... This guy's watching the show, Fins Fanatic, because I'm saying trade Achane away for St. Brown. Trade him away for Hall and maybe something if you can get something. So this is the opposite of what I want you to do with Achane. I want you to go get Devontae Smith and a Aaron Jones and you give up something small. I want you to get Devontae Smith like he's nothing right now and Breece Hall for Achane and something. That's what I want you to do. I'm not trading away St. Brown or Hall. You're in a very good situation. You've got Hall, you've got Swift, you've got St. Brown, you've got Diggs. There's no reason to make these trades. I don't like it. Got offered Achane. Okay. Running back Swift. I don't. Where's the other trade offer? You said pull the trigger. Which one I send? Running backs offered Achane for St. Brown or Hall. Yeah, no. You're saying both of those guys. No, I'm not doing those. Don't take Achane for that. Go get Achane for something like you give up a Rashad White and a potential, I don't know, Christian Watson maybe. Or if you do trade St. Brown to him, you're getting a Waddle or Debo with Achane back. You're getting a Christian Watson type. I know you have him back with Achane. That way Christian Watson can at least fend against St. Brown. If you don't have a second player that can fend against St. Brown and you're giving up St. Brown, I don't like the deal because you're taking nothing but all the risk and giving him all the upside where you have no sort of ability to win the trade if things go badly with Achane. So that's what you got to do with Achane. Protect yourself. Do a 2-for-1 or a 2-for-2. Hey, Smitty got offered Tua, JSN, Tank Dell, but I'd give up Ayuk and Nico. I'd probably rather have your quarterback. I'm very thin at quarterback. Depends what your quarterback is. Lift. I would say that in general, if you're in dire straits, I would probably take Tua and say to myself that, Nico and Dell, you could argue. I know Dell sometimes is worth more to some people than Nico, and they kind of rotate. So let's just take that out of the equation and say that's a wash. Tua for Ayuk is very reasonable for a team that has no quarterback, even if it's a 1 QB. Obviously, 2 QB, you'd be crushing them, but we assume that's a 1 QB, and I think it is. It's still very good. Brofist Brad with a $10 holler. Brofist, appreciate you coming in strong, my guy. Smitty, don't do curls for me. Former trainer, I'm worried you're going to get bicep tendonitis, which will shut you down bad for a while. That's why we're doing tries today, pal. We're going to rotate it on a threesome. Okay, we're going we're going biceps, we're going triceps, and we're going shoulders. Okay, we're going to do a 3-day rotation. That way I actually get a 2-day rest from the curls. Thank you. Appreciate you, Brofist Brad. I have been asking for somebody to come in and tell me if I'm going to break my arms, but I think I'm doing pretty good. My arms aren't even sore today, and we did like 200 curls yesterday, maybe more. Hi, Smitty. Hope you don't have a $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Hi, Smitty. Hope I don't have to take a lap. Traded Gibbs and Nico for Ridley. I love that trade.
You've just been Smitty approved.
You're not taking laps on this channel going in and getting a player I love in Ridley. Had to sweeten the deal because of Gibbs' injury. My squad is Fields, Bijan, Pollard, Pacheco, Ridley, Olave, Kmet going to the moon. That is an unbelievable squad. Unbelievable trade. Even if Gibbs turns things around at some point, it's an even trade for you. Recovery. That's how you do. That's how you execute a perfect trade. $5 hauler from Thomas. Keontae Ingram, limited in practice. PPR, start 3. Kyron, McLaughlin, DeMarcado, Osborne, and Spears. I'm going to start Spears and Kyron and probably McLaughlin. But it's very, very tough. And maybe DeMarcado earns our trust after a few more clarified coaching comments or something like that. So we might have to swing around and rehash that one out. Just traded Swift and T-Law. Thank you for the super chat. Swift and T-Law for Mixon, Devontae Smith, and Gabe Davis and KJ Osborne. Swift and T-Law for Mixon. Okay, your lineup is Fields, so you didn't need T-Law. I don't hate this trade. I think this trade's hard to evaluate because I think Swift and Devontae Smith are very close. So it's almost like an even trade. You're getting Mixon, but I try and trade Mixon away. If you can turn Mixon into an Aaron Jones somehow by giving up, let's say, a Dobbs or a different lineup or a different piece, like you got KJ Osborne, I would trade KJ Osborne on the high right now. Maybe Gabe Davis on the high with Mixon to go get an Aaron Jones, to go get a JT. Who somebody's like, damn it, I shouldn't have got JT. Look at Zach Moss. You can do that. If you turn that into that, your trade overall is absolutely glory. Once it's all said and done, would you give Christian Watson, Damian Pierce? I got to sit up straighter too. I want everybody out here we're doing some health and wellness stuff on the channel. The working out sitting up straight. I want everybody to work on their posture during the show. I don't mind leaning over once in a while like this, but I need to stop slouching. I need to stand up straight. I even got one of those things where you put it on and it straightens your back. I should wear it on the show. It's got like a strap just to see if I could get in a groove for a couple days with it. And it did help, and then I took it off. But I'm sitting up straighter. It's better for your confidence. It's better for your health. It's better for everything. So we're sitting up straight, moving forward on the show. No ifs, ands, or buts. You watch the show, you sit up straight. Would you give Christian Watson, Dameon Pierce, Bryce Young, Gabe Davis for Devon Achane in Dynasty? I would. Yes, I would. I would go get Devon Achane. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I definitely would. Let me turn on the stream on my iPad here because it doesn't show me the YouTube exclusive comments and things like that. I want to make sure I'm getting everybody's comments and questions and everything. Sorry if I already discussed it, but Ingram or DeMarcado, we don't know, Eric. We got to wait on the news. The coach speak on it. Right now, Ingram's listed as the one, but we don't fully know. I think if we didn't hear a single thing, if they're quiet walking into the game, I would say probably DeMarcado's getting the goal line work and Ingram's getting the between the 20s work. So that's kind of the way I look at it, even with the depth chart. I think the depth chart announcement by Schefter alarmed people when he was merely reading the depth chart. But I'm not saying that the Cardinals won't back that up in some sort of coach speak, and they might have already done that, and I haven't seen it yet today because I've been slammed doing 10,000 different things. But would you give Christian Watson? Absolutely. Go get Achane right now for that deal. 10-team league, PPR keeper, super flex, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Hurts, Love, T-Law, Bijan, Pollard, 4 and 1 possible trade ideas. Maybe you got good quarterbacks. Maybe you do toy around with the idea of trading Love. And even though he's had a very, very bad game, I can tell you right now in Superflex, he's still very tradable. I don't know if I would trade Pollard or Bijan or Swift. Swift would be tempting. I don't think I'd trade Amon-Ra, Olave, Devontae Smith. Your team is absolutely stacked, bro. If it's me, I'm using Love and potentially a Christian Watson. Love and maybe I don't know. You could go Love and Swift for a slight running back upgrade. Love and Swift for... I'd go get Eckler. Pollard and Love for Eckler, potentially. Love and Swift for maybe JT in a keeper. Like that kind of stuff makes sense gone. But past that, there's not a lot of running back upgrades. There's no other move for you to make. Your wide receivers are lit. Your quarterbacks are solid. If you could upgrade T-Law using Love, give 2 quarterbacks for 1. I bet you the Jalen... What did you have? Jalen Hurts? What was your team? You had Jalen Hurts, right? I bet you the Mahomes owner would contemplate 2 quarterbacks if they only had Mahomes. I bet you the Josh Allen owner would contemplate Love and T-Law for the 1. Contemplate it. If you threw in something else, like a Christian Watson or something like that. And if not, there are still a handful of quarterbacks like Burrow you could go get using Love and T-Law potentially. Just, at some point you got to stop. Would I trade Love for a hurt AR5? Absolutely. In Dynasty and a keeper, for sure. Ridley, Olave, Cooper, Terry, Dell, JT, Gibbs, Warren. Should I trade Achane and Gibbs for 2 or waiver the Storm? For 2 what? For 2 what? Let's see here. 2 of Ridley. Should I trade Achane and Gibbs for 2? I don't know what that means. Trade it for 2 what? Just 2 players in general. Would I trade Achane for Devontae Smith and Aaron Jones and give up Achane and a player like Dell or Scary Terry? Yeah, I would. Would I trade Achane for Amon-Ra straight up type of player? Yes, I would. Would I trade Achane for... Who's your quarterback? But this is in redraft. If it's Dynasty, I'm not trading him. But I think there's a plethora of ideas from Aaron Jones, Debo, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Smith, which you then have to give up a second player to make it a 2 for 2. Achane for Kelsey, who's doubted. Achane for Bijan, who's doubted. There's a lot of opportunities. The 2 for 1s are a little more difficult, but like if you could trade Achane for, and I don't think you can, but a JT who suffered, drastically last week, and his owners are probably wondering what the hell is going on. You get JT and an Ayuk. Those combinations, Lucas, would be fire if you can pull them off. Appreciate you. Vampy with a super chat here. Vamp, appreciate you. Start Javonte or Spears. I'd probably start Spears right now. Drop Love for Stroud. Stroud's a tiny bit safer. Love still has more upside but more risk. There's really no way to really draw up that quarterback scenario any differently. If anybody thinks that Love is garbage, then answer me this. Why was he in the top 6 overall quarterbacks 4 weeks into the season? Why was he on pace for 40 total touchdowns, rushing and throwing, walking into the week 5 matchup? And granted, he had nothing in week 5, and he crapped the bed hardcore, but he was literally a top 6 quarterback. So there's some risk in getting rid of him. I do think Stroud is safer, but I don't think he has the upside week in and week out that Love has, especially when Love gets back Aaron Jones and he has his full arsenal of talent. Smitty doing all these curls and workouts. He's going to get buff for his trip to Hawaii to come visit me and Gustavo. Chill out, bro. But when? I don't know, Scotty and Gustavo, but I'm coming to Hawaii at some point. Appreciate you very much, and thank you for your super chat. Is Moss a main piece or throw-in a 2 for 1 trade? I don't think he's a main piece, but he's definitely, I think, somebody that can move the needle a little bit in a trade. Thank you for the super chat. G Money, Smitty got offered Pollard for Kamara. Thoughts? I'd rather have Pollard over Kamara, but it is very arguable to a degree. But I'd rather have Pollard still. I'm not ready to give up on him. Rad Man Show, appreciate you dropping the super chat. I don't see another super or anything attached to it. I'll try and look for you a little bit later. By the time I get to your super chat, your comments are way long gone, so you got to include it in the message. But I'll try and go look for you at the end here. $4.99, 12-team, 1 QB, 1 flex, Allen, Burrow, Bijan, Gibbs, Breece Hall, Jacobs, Najee, Roshan, Bigsby, Charbonnet, DJ Moore, CD, Godwin, Muth, trade Breece, DJ Moore, and Burrow for Amon-Ra and Waller. I would not do this, bro. Amon-Ra and DJ Moore are close enough, bro. Breece Hall and Burrow? No way. This is one of the worst trades I've ever seen. And this goes to you. I normally send this, and Smokey the cat, don't get mad at me. I'm here to coach you. I'm your coach. I'm going to yell at you high knees. I'm not here to pat you on the back when something bad happens. I'm here to say, you ran that lap really slow, Smokey the cat. You need to run faster next time. Pick up your knees, high knees. Give me 100% on the lap, Smokey. And I usually send this to people that send you bad offers, but here's to your offer, pal.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
It's a really bad offer. Don't do that trade. I'm glad you super chatted that though, Smokey. We saved you from doing a bad thing. From doing a very bad thing. 0 and 5, 12 PPR, 2 flex, Love, Dak, Aaron Jones, Hall, Achane, Akers, JJ Waddle, London, Kelsey, etc. Was offered Saquon and Kmet for Kelsey. I would take the Kelsey side, so I'm not making the trade, Troy. Trust the process, man. Trust that, like Fields held back DJ Moore and everybody gave up on DJ Moore, that Mahomes is holding back on Kelsey and making Kelsey play a lot lesser, and he's been struggling with injury. So I totally believe that Kelsey will rebound. Trust in Mahomes. Fields, Bijan, B. Hall, McLaurin, Kirk, Kelsey, Pacheco, London, Dotson, Kmet. Moves. Feel like I need a wide receiver. You're 4-1. Well, you're 4-1 for a reason, bro. Keep the faith in Bijan and Hall and Kelsey and Pacheco. Those are really good. Would I try and maybe make a move? Yeah, but I'm not giving up those guys. If I could trade Kirk and maybe... Because you got 2 really good RBs, I know it's nice to have Pacheco, but you could go Pacheco for Olave, St. Brown, Devontae Smith, and some Cooper Kupp, which probably won't work. But CeeDee Lamb, you could probably even get a little bit more if you did like a Pacheco McLaurin for Lamb and somehow got someone to say, here's Ramondre Stevenson, and you had something that you could throw. I would definitely potentially use Pacheco to get that wide receiver. In a worst case scenario, Devontae Smith and Pacheco are even, bro. I love Pacheco, but I would take Devontae Smith straight up if you could get him. I think he's a great buy low this week. 10-team, 0.5 PPR. Fields, Love, Lamb, Tyreek, Ridley, Gabe Davis, Bijan, Pollard, Swift. Trade on the table is Mahomes and Stevenson for my Bijan. I mean, you got Fields, and it's a 1 QB. What are you doing? No. I love Mahomes, and I think Stevenson's a nice, if that's what Stevenson is Stevenson equals Stevenson. He's a nice potential, add-in, just in case something, he bounces back. But you've got Fields. You'd have to make another trade. If you could line up another trade, I could really evaluate it. But right now, Gilbert, I can't guarantee you get rid of Fields. So I'm going to say negative on that one, Ghost Rider. You are not doing that trade. Need help, Smitty. 1-4, 14-team PPR, T-Law, and Devontae Smith, Garrett Wilson, etc. Got offered Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Pierce for my Bijan, Garrett Wilson. I would probably say give me Bijan and Garrett Wilson's side. Because, look, I don't know that I trust Pierce right now. I trust Garrett Wilson, I think, more later on. I'm hopeful that there's some sort of quarterback change that's made. And just like Devontae Adams is getting fed by Jimmy Garoppolo, do we not think a Carson Wentz or a change at quarterback can't feed Garrett Wilson? I still believe in Garrett Wilson longer term, not necessarily this week. I'm worried about it still. But Bijan, give me the Bijan side. I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. If Amon-Ra wasn't banged up at all on top of this, it would be a closer call. But no. Do you think Fields, Ridley, and Gibbs is too much to give for K9 and Chase? Who's your quarterback? But I think no. The answer is no. I would take Walker and Chase. Walker's bye week free as well. But some of this would be dependent on your quarterback. But I think I'd even be okay with if you had Purdy or anything, to suffice. 16-man league, I had JJ and Herbie go down and have Roshan. Got offered AR5 and Cup Moss for my Joe Burrow, Brian Robinson, and Ridley. No, I'm not doing this. You're buying Zach Moss like he's the flavor of the week and it's going to remain the flavor of the year. It's the flavor of the week for a reason. It may not be even offered on the shelf in 4 weeks from now. So absolutely not. AR5 is hurt. Cooper Kupp's fantastic. But guess what? Ridley's also fantastic. Joe Burrow, no thank you. You got Purdy. I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense to some degree, but I would say why not trade away Purdy? I mean, you could keep Ridley and trade Purdy to another player. Go get Devontae Smith. Go get Olave. And then you're keeping Ridley on top of that. It's interesting. Let's even ask the chat. If you had Brock Purdy, would you trade away Joe Burrow, Brian Robinson, and Ridley for essentially Cooper Kupp and an injured AR5? Maybe this isn't as bad as... The more I look at it, it's not horrible. I mean, AR5 is going to come back at some point. Cooper Kupp, Ridley, I don't know. I just think Joe Burrow, it seems like you're giving him a lot. It's not horrible for your lineup, and I think it's actually not. The more I look at it, the more I think it actually could work. But I do think that maybe you're giving him too much. He's making out pretty big in this deal because he's getting Ridley, who we love. He's getting Joe Burrow. He doesn't have a quarterback right now. Let's see what the chat thinks. K9, Javonte, or ETN. I'm going to go ETN right. Well, K9 has the bye week. Could give less, says Hammer. That's what I'm thinking. I just think maybe you get a little more or you give a little less. It's hard to say. Cup over Ridley. Well, for sure, Cito, but that's not the whole deal. The whole deal is he's giving away Joe Burrow practically for free in this trade. AR5 is nice, though, to get, and you're going to have Purdy to hold you down. But I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Would you rather him do this trade or not do this trade? I don't need to hear that Cup is better than Ridley. We need to know, would he do this? Should he do this trade? Get Waddle, says he. Come on, help out. Vote on this trade. Ryan needs us. Ryan needs your help. Vote on the trade. Alex, appreciate you. Trade Kamara for JT and Kmet. I'd probably rather have Kamara right now, bro. And Logan Thomas is decent enough. Thank you, Bad Man Show, for resubmitting another super chat. You to the moon, pal. You to the moon. Please vote on that trade. Please vote on that trade, please. Trade Aaron Jones for Roschon Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins. I'd rather have Aaron Jones. I do not trade Aaron Jones. He's going into a bye week to heal up. That's why they didn't play him. I would definitely say stand down on that. Do not trade Aaron Jones. That's way too cheap. Not that that couldn't end up working out, but right now fair market value is not on your side if you made that trade. Trade away JJ and Gainwell for Ridley and Brian Robinson. I probably would take that. Then I'd try to flip Brian Robinson. I hate to trade JJ, but I guess if you're 4-1 or 5-0, I would maybe contemplate holding on to JJ or strong arming him because you could afford for him to pull out of the trade. But if you're like 1 win, 2 wins, 3 wins, I think I'd rather have the Ridley side, but then I do try and flip Brian Robinson. Cup, no trade. Don't make the trade. Depends. That's a tough one. I definitely think I would want to give up less on that Cup deal, but it's not bad. AR5 getting thrown in is actually kind of intriguing. But I have Kamara, Walker, Roschon as running backs, Adams, DJ, Ridley as wide receivers. Got offered Chase or Diggs for Walker, Ridley. Thoughts? I'd rather have Walker and Ridley over Chase or over Diggs. I mean, maybe your team's very stacked, but I don't know that I want to give up the RB for you. I think that really hurts you. I think, maybe you trade JJ somehow, some way. Like JJ and Ridley for Chase and something. I don't give up Walker and Ridley for one of those guys. Got offered Chase or Diggs. Yeah, I can't do that. That's too much. There's 2 very good players. I like Jamar Chase a lot, but that's a lot to give up. Trade Bijan and Ridley for Lamb. Keep in mind that, back to that real quick, keep in mind that, like, you're 1 game away where Jamar Chase goes out and has 50 yards and no touchdowns from feeling like you just punted your season. It's so exciting to be like 3 touchdowns. Like, Jamar Chase is going to ball out. He's going to have big games. But just keep in mind how you're going to feel if you get 5 points out of Chase once in a while, and that moment in time where you gave up all that value off of the glory of week number 5. You can't always get that kind of production. Trade Bijan and Ridley for Lamb, Jones, and Puka. Bijan and Ridley for Lamb, Jones, and Puka. Good Lord. You're 2-3. Chat, I need you on this one. Are we going Ridley, Lamb, and Aaron? I'm sorry. Lamb, Aaron Jones, and Puka, or Bijan Ridley? Lamb, Aaron Jones, and Puka, or Bijan Ridley? Jeez, that's a really, really tough one. That's extremely tough. I'm going to leave that one on screen for a second and see what the chat thinks, because quite honestly, that's a really tough one. Javonte, Roschon, roster spot. I'd probably say Roschon for now, but that could certainly change, bro, in a millisecond. Flex, Sutton or Lazard. Neither. There's got to be a better option out there. I suppose I go Sutton if he's like healthy and he's going to play, but like I don't even like either one of those options. Lamb side, Bijan side, Bijan. Puka side, Bijan, Ridley, Puka side. Ridley, Puka side. Bijan, Ridley side, Lamb side, Bijan, Ridley side, please. It's all over the place. It's a complete, this is why I struggle with it. Bijan side, this is Superfish. Very, very tough. I like Aaron Jones a lot. I really do. Puka's been playing great. I guess I would slightly lean Bijan and Ridley, but you're 2-3. Doesn't mean it's all over or anything like that, but you're 2-3, so a gamble isn't crazy. But that's a tough one. 2-3, barely won in 2-1 the 2 trade Tyreek for AJ Brown and JT. Barely won the 2 trade. I don't know what that means, but I think you're just saying the Tyreek for AJ Brown and JT. Look, AJ Brown and JT for Tyreek is pretty intriguing, but it's also intriguing on the other side. Like, both sides are pretty solid. Like, you're getting JT. If you get JT back to form, the AJ Brown JT side will beat the Tyreek side. But it just all depends on JT, really. So I don't think that, I can't even tell you who's going to win that trade. It's a very, very crazy stacked trade on both sides. I like it. If you need a spark, I don't mind it.
To the moon.
So I wouldn't feel like you did bad there. Spags with a $10 hauler. I was offered Kelsey, Najee, and 11th round pick for Komet, Gibbs, and a 9th round pick. I don't know what these 11th round and 9th round picks are. Are they next year's draft? Because this can't be rookie picks. You're not drafting 11 rookies. So I imagine this is like next year's draft, like redraft rounds, I guess. This is the okay, I didn't continue finishing it. This is a redraft league, so it would be my 8th next year. Would you take this? Okay. So it was offered Kelsey and Najee and his 11th round pick for my Komet, Gibbs, and 9th round pick, but it would be your 8th. Okay. Travis Kelsey was offered Travis Kelsey and Najee and 11th for Cole Komet, Gibbs, and I would probably take the Kelsey side. If you can win money, I'd take the Kelsey side, Spags. Like if you're in it to potentially win it. We got a $20 hauler from Xavier. We got a $20 hauler from Brofist Brad. Let's read Brofist Brad's in case he's giving me any sort of training advice. He's $20 hauler, 1 and 4, traded Adams for Olave and Mondre. I don't mind that one, to be honest. Then traded Saquon, Achane, and Elijah Moore for Pacheco and Ridley. That one's close because if Achane comes back and is the top 5 running back, it could definitely burn, especially if Saquon's playing well at some point. But I understand why you did it. Pacheco is probably better than Barkley right now, quite honestly. And Ridley could be every bit as good as Achane sum total because he's playing the rest of the entire season. So I like that team. That team's very good. And because of your $20 hauler, I get to go drop a set here. And appreciate you very much for being my trainer, Brofist Brad.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
We're doing it live. Brofist Brad, appreciate you dropping that. $20 hauler from Xavier, traded Achane to get Ridley and JT. That's what I'm talking about. Smitty, I can't get rid of Achane. Smitty, I'm going to tell you in the comments of your channel right here, Smitty. I'm telling you in the comments, nobody's going to give you anything for Achane, Smitty, because the world revolves around me. Your league doesn't dictate everything, Bob. Look what this man Xavier just did. Traded Achane to get Ridley and JT. He got him. And I love Achane, but that's how you do it.
Got him.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Oh, yeah, those tries are burning. I feel like I'm getting more of a workout doing the tries than I did even the curls. Oh, those are burning. I needed that. The tries have been neglected. These tries, they look like I just took a little marker and drew a little line. There's nothing there. We're going to develop those bad boys. My trainers are in here today, dropping 20s, getting your boy Smitty to do some sets. Thank you, Brofist. Appreciate you dropping the 20 wad. We got another one from Lego Batman. What a marvelous man. Lego putting up the bat sign for Devontae Smith. Appreciate Lego. And I think we got another super from Mark Cleveland in here. And then Isaac dropping a super chat. So we got 3 20s right here at the same time from Mark Cleveland, from Lego, and from Isaac. Mark Cleveland said, trade my Puka for Walker. Thanks, enjoying the show. I think that's pretty good. You got to have Charbonnet, though, Mark, or you're just going to be... I don't know. If you can't get Sharbs, does everybody think they'd rather have Puka or Walker without Sharbs in case he doesn't have them? Way to one-up my Achane trade, says Brofist Brad with his 11-month membership. Can we vote on this for Mark Cleveland? I would lean toward Walker. He's bye-week free. There's still a chance that Puka gets worn down because he's being completely abused. You know what I'm saying? So give me Walker. To the moon, says Lego. Appreciate you. I've got 2 $20 haulers I got to do for Mark Cleveland and Lego right now. Then I'm going to come answer Isaac's.
Alert. Super chat alert.
That was for Lego.
Alert. Super chat alert.
10 for Mark. I think my tries might give out in the middle of the show. So hang tight on that one. It's gonna be interesting if my tries can hold up. My biceps were holding up strong yesterday after like 200 sets. Rock out, just mute yourself if you could real quick, please. After the Dan Campbell announcement, what's your opinion on Montgomery versus ETN? Look, Monty is a really, really, really solid player right now, moving forward. Plain and simple. And I think that if anybody is doubting his ability to be a top 10 running back at this point, you don't really understand how much they want to run on the ground between the tackles with this guy. I do think eventually they break him. I hope not, but literally the guy came back from a pretty significant injury that he rushed back from. Significantly looked like he was out for the season. You know, tore his knee up, but it was a quad, and they rushed him back a little bit. And then what do? They give him his career high carries ever. I just think they're potentially going to run him into the ground. I don't know what announcement you're talking about as far as Montgomery. I'll try and swing around. Jahmyr Gibbs did not practice today, by the way. Doesn't mean he doesn't play, but it's not necessarily boding well. But let me know what announcement you're talking about. But I would say ETN. I like ETN more. ETN's absolute fire right now, and he's my boy. My Week 6 team is Burrow, Chase, Olave, Pollard, K9. Very, very good squad. Not a lot of players I want to move around at all. So if this is me, I'm hanging tight, and I do not drop Sharps. I do not drop Pierce. I let those guys potentially gain value and just let it open the door for a potential trade, Isaac, because you got an absolute monster of a squad there. $20 hauler from Isaac. Let's go.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
I should have done 10 instead of the 15 at the beginning because I was like, I wanted to get the burn right away. But my arm feels like it's filling with, like it's swelling up. And it feels like it's going to explode. It feels so full. 600 people in here. Every $20 hauler, you guys make me work out. You guys are going to watch me get all swole. By Halloween night is when all this ends. There's no more workout madness on the live stream after Halloween. So work out with me. Smitty had the AZ back above Warren. I don't know what that means, Ethan. No idea what you're talking about there. Let's see here. Let's get to the rest of these supers. Thank you all for the super chats. This one right here is from Ethan. Ethan says, $5 hauler, 2 and 3, 10-man league. I'm getting through all these super chats. There's a little bit of a wait, so just hang tight. I have Josh Allen, Eckler, K. Walker, DK, Waddle, London, Andrews, Moss, London, 2 Londons, Brian Robinson, Achan, AR-15, which is now AR-5, my guy. He's not AR, he's AR-5 now. Trade Kenneth Walker the third for Olave. I would definitely say I'd keep Kenneth Walker with the bye week out of the way. But it's a very, very close move. I think because you have 2 very good wide receivers in DK and Waddle, and because you've got 2 very good running backs, you're very balanced. I think you making this trade would probably unsettle the roster a little bit. So I'm going to say no on that one. If he was to give you, let's say you could get rid of Walker for like an Aaron Jones and Devontae Smith and give back like a Tank Dell, that's the kind of trade you need to make to get 2 players into the roster, into the lineup. 5-0, you're doing good things if you're 5-0, bro. You can't trip and fall into 5-0. Josh Allen, Addison. Maybe you can trip him. What is this? Is that Kamara? Kamara, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Okay. All these abbreviations, I'm like, who's on your team? You got nobody. How are you 5-0? But SD, Stephon Diggs. I mean, what are we doing here? Do I look like a mind reader? Do I look like an absolute wizard? You know, I might be a fantasy football scientist, but some of these abbreviations are wild. There's no way I'm surprised I get 99% of them reading some of your shorthands. Stephon Diggs, SD. Come on, bro. It's SD. You're 5-0 for a good reason. After I evaluated and decoded your roster with the decoder pin from what was that movie, Christmas Story? I used the decoder pin, figured it out. You got Josh Allen, Kamara, Cam, SD, Stephon Diggs, Addison, Fergie. Your team's good, but I don't know. Oh, Rock Out, I'm sorry. Rock Out, call back. Rock Out, I'm sorry. I forgot you were there. Call back real quick, Rock Out. I didn't mean to keep you on hold. This is a very, very good squad, but I don't know that there's enough firepower here to win the league, even though you're 5-0. If it's me, call back, Rock Out, my bad. If it's me, I'm probably exploring the divide and conquer with Stephon Diggs, using the Devontae Smith, Aaron Jones, the Breece Hall, Devontae Smith, the Debo, Breece Hall, and maybe more type of package, the Amon-Ra and something like that with another player. The Bijan and Debo, the Bijan and Devontae Smith, and you throw in something small. I think you are a candidate, unfortunately, and I never thought I'd say that about a 5-0 team, to do a divide and conquer. I don't know that Josh Allen, Diggs, Kamara is going to win. Unless Charbonnet gets into the lineup, knock on wood, and a lot of things happen for you. But I would probably strongly consider that. But do not make a bad trade, though. You have to make a monstrous trade. Feel he's a league winner. Sharbs on the waiver wire. You have to pick up Sharbs, though, Phil. Drop who? If I'm dropping somebody, to answer your last question in this, probably going to be Downs. I like him, but he's your worst player. So I drop Downs. I don't drop Javonte. I don't lose that running back potential. Rock Out, call in one more time. I'm sorry. I'll answer you right away. Mike Jones, you put yourself on mute. You were so quiet that I forgot you were there. 12-man, 0.5 PPR, 3-2. T-Law, Bijan, Walker, Chase, Ridley, Hawkinson, DeMarcado. Very good squad. Running backs are fire. Wide receivers are fire. T-Law is on his way back. Hawkinson. I like the team quite a bit. AR5 on IR. I'm probably waiting on this team unless I could trade Chase for Devontae Smith and Aaron Jones type of deal. Hall and Debo maybe even, or something like that. Which I don't know that I necessarily do that, but those types of moves. Bring it to me. If you can find the right combination on a team, start off by going after the one player, see what they have on the roster. So go to the Aaron Jones owner, go to the Breece Hall owner, go to the DeAndre Swift owner, go to the JT owner, go to the Bijan owner, and see what you can cook up as far as a second player being added. Bring it back, and let's see if we can hammer down a deal. Rock Out, waiting for you to call back, my boy. I'm so sorry. League veto to trade for Mixon for Jefferson. How do you veto something like that? JJ might not return. And even if he does, then it's a great, that side's better. But how do you veto something like that? I would leave a league like that, Benjamin. Have your league commissioner call me up, and I'd love to have a conversation with them and say, how do you have a league where you veto something where a player might not return to football? 3-2, 0.5, 12 team, 2 flex, QB Purdy, running back Pollard, Derrick Henry, Gibbs, wide receiver Nico, Ridley, Devontae Smith, JJ. Started with a Chubb. He started with a Chubb. Just bought JJ low. Hold these. I mean, look, you've got maybe try and sell Henry high. I don't know if you can even get rid of him for a Devontae Smith, Olave, a St. Brown injured. Those are cross position trades for Derrick Henry are so much easier. Purdy's fantastic right now. Did you say you have AR5? No, you don't. It's a good team. Ridley, you got Devontae Smith. So Olave, Lamb using Henry. So Devontae Smith, JJ, once he comes back, Ridley. I like this team a lot. I probably do hold. You're 3-2. I probably do hold. I would potentially try and flip JJ again, though, bro. I don't know that JJ feels ultra secure for that team. I'd almost rather have that Ridley type of player or Aaron Jones and maybe a tiny bit more type of player for your team. Will you give Watson, Bijan, and Javonte for Ridley, JT, and Breece Hall? Only if I like winning. I love Bijan, bro, but you got to take Ridley, JT, and Breece Hall. That's an absolute smash, Joe. Absolute. Smitty approved. Rock out, calling again, bro. The phone lines aren't open for anybody else but a Mars Man. A Mars Man can break through, but that's why the Mars Man card is there. And Rock out tried to use it, and I accidentally left him on hold forever. Appreciate you, Rock out. Dial in, bro. Dial in, Rock out. Dial in, my boy. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
From Sepsis, who says, Smitty, team feels like my team needs some help. Mahomes, CD, DJ Moore, AK, Mostert. Mostert's going to step up big for you. Andrews, Hall. I don't think your team needs much help. I'm just trying to. You got JT. No, you don't need help. Your team's fantastic. You got Mahomes. Like, can you upgrade CD Lamb using? I don't know. I mean, could you trade like JJ and CD Lamb for like Tyreek Hill or something like weird like that? Maybe you got the depth to probably do it, but I probably consider trading Ingram and Mostert for a Pollard, or let Mostert go off, and the non-Mostert owners will start believing in him after a week of going nuts. Or you trade JJ and Ingram for the players right below Diggs. You could try for Diggs. You're probably not going to get him, but right below Diggs, those wide receivers, or maybe an Aaron Jones potentially for JJ. You throw in Ingram and get another player involved. I think JJ doesn't serve you, and there's so much risk to it. Do I drop Kincaid for Schultz? I would probably rather have Schultz right now, but Kincaid is a monitor. He was never expected to go nuts in week 1, 2, 3, even maybe 4, 5. So we're still like in the same territory. We do want him to do something soon, but he's in the concussion protocol right now. Smitty helped 3 and 2 in a 12-team PPR Superflex with an extra RB wide receiver slot. QB Kirk, Stroud, Love, Connor Hall, Jeff Wilson Jr., Algier, McKinnon, JJ Adams, Cup, Elijah Moore, and Boyd Ferguson. 3 and 2, 12-team Superflex with an extra running back wide receiver spot. Look, Connor going down hurt you big time. Hall, Wilson Jr. Wilson Jr. is banged up right now. I don't know what you do to solve your running back problem when your quarterbacks are good, but they're not like electric. And JJ down, you've got to trade JJ. D. Adams and Cup, you got to trade JJ away, assuming this isn't a super flex. I'm sorry, a dynasty super flex. If it's just a normal super flex, I'm going after 2 players. I go target Aaron Jones, see what wide receiver I get with him. Go target Devontae Smith, see what running back I could get with him. Go to the Breece Hall owner, and try and see what wide receiver you can get added in. Go to the potential Pollard owner and see if JJ could be traded for Pollard. Something like that, Caleb. I don't think you can sit on JJ. I don't think you have the ability, the luxury to sit on JJ. Still waiting for my boy Rock Out to call back. Rock Out, dial back in, my broski. Matthew, appreciate you. Record. Pollard, Kyron, Achan, Roshan, Tyreek, Devonta Smith, Addison, Deontay, Goddard, QB, Stafford, Russ, AR, injured reserve. Any advice? Someone dropped Love, worth the pickup. Absolutely Love's worth the pickup. He was a top 6 quarterback before last week, and everybody's completely just thrown him into the trash can. I get he's maybe hard to start at this moment in time, but I like Love over Russell Wilson. So give me Love over Russell Wilson. He was in the QB like 5 or 6 before week 5 kicked off. So give him a bye week to get right. Give him his running back in Aaron Jones, a big pass catching threat for him, and Christian Watson will be that much healthier. This team is pretty good. I think past the fact that like you got hit hard by the Achan situation, you could probably weather through it. Devontae Smith, Addison's going to get an uptick. I like this team a lot. I don't know that you need to even move anything. Tyreek, Devontae Smith, I let it ride. I stay afloat. I try and get some big wins here. I think you'll be good. 1 and 4 makes me want to contemplate trading away Achan, though. If you can get rid of Achan and get an Aaron Jones, or get some sort of big wide receiver that's doubted very, very much, of the likes of a Olave type. Trade Walker, Pittman, Mostert for Bijan, Metcalf. I would take Bijan and Metcalf, but honestly, Mostert could ball out this week. This could be a really good trade. Walker's already a very good non-trade too for a while. Walker's already had his bye. There's definitely pros and cons to this trade. I mean, if Walker and Mostert both go nuts this week, and Bijan gets held back, and Metcalf, I'm sorry, not the next week. Walker next week after the bye. If Walker goes nuts after the bye week, no, he had his bye week. What am I saying? He's back from the bye week. If Walker goes nuts coming off the bye week, and you got Mostert going nuts this week in as the lone starter really in Miami, and Bijan struggles and Metcalf is just mediocre, like you're going to be pissed off you traded Walker and Mostert. So I guess I would say that there's some pros and cons to this that you need to incorporate into your decision. But like at the end of the day, if you believe in Bijan, then you'll want to make this trade. If you believe in Walker and you also believe Mostert is going to be a top 10 running back go forward, regardless of what happens with Achane, then you got to hold strong on that side. I guess I would go to the chat and say, do we like the Kenneth Walker bye week free with Mostert, or do we like the Bijan Metcalf side? Can we please vote for Ron and give Ron a proper vote so Ron can absolutely make his correct decision? So please vote, guys, in the chat and see if we should stick with Mostert and Walker having this buy out of the way. This one's a $5 hauler from Steve. Sup Flex Dynasty, Super Flex Dynasty, 1 PPR. I have Kirk, Davis, Pickens, Deontay, Nico, Burks, Downs, Goddard, and Laporta. Who do I trade for? Hall, ETN, I believe you're trying to say, or Gibbs? They need a tight end. I trade Goddard if I can, but I would certainly, it looks like the Walker side is getting Walker, Mostert, Walker side, Bijan side, Walker side. It looks like Walker side is getting more votes, Ron. I would probably say the chat. I would defer to the chat on that one because I'm very indifferent on it. I'm very mixed on it. I love Bijan, but at the same time, reality is that Walker's playing great. His schedule does get rough, so I maybe sell high on him if the opportunity presents itself. But I don't know that I'm trading Mostert right now this week. You know what I mean? Let Mostert do something, and maybe you get a lot more next week. As far as this trade this team right here, I'm trading away Laporta or Goddard. I think both are playing really well. You could roll with Goddard and trade Laporta away if you had more value, but Goddard just popped off. Maybe you can sell Goddard and a Nico for a Devontae Smith type player, Olave type player, an Aaron Jones type player. Steve, are all options. I think very attainable players. Do I trade? As far as like Hall, like if you could get, let me put that back on screen. I'm sorry. If you could get Hall or ETN for whichever tight end he wants, and you throw in a player like, I mean, I don't know that he's going to, with the players you listed, like I'd give up Kirk, Pickens, and one of the tight ends for ETN or Breece Hall. You know what I'm saying? But like there's not a lot of wiggle room there without any other players that you mentioned. So I would do those if you could do it, but it's going to be hard to do. $10 hauler from my boy Daniel. Daniel, appreciate you. Currently 3-2. Any trades or improvements I could make? Herbert, Bijan, Walker, Adams, Amon-Ra, Kittle. It's a good team. I suppose I probably say if you could trade Adams away on the high for these data wide receivers we keep listing off all week long, from St. Brown to Olave to Devontae Smith to Lamb to Waddle, and get an additional upgrade or piece somewhere. Upgrading Thielen, you throw Thielen in, so you trade Adams and Thielen for, let's just call it Olave, or let's call it Waddle and Aaron Jones. Let's call it Breece Hall and Devontae Smith. Let's call it Lamb and a running back of that caliber of the running backs I'm listing off right now. That's how you make an amazing 2-for-2 trade, by giving up the best player in the deal in Devontae Adams. Keep in mind, this is not an even Steven trade. This is you giving up one player for two, and you're giving them someone back to just close that gap enough for them to say fine. Okay? So it needs to be an Aaron Jones and a Devontae Smith. It needs to be an over-exaggerated amount of talent you're getting back. Olave and even if it was two, wide receivers or something, if you were to, let's say, roll with potentially Bijan and Walker only, and you were to give up, what were we saying here? We were saying, what were we even talking about here? Adams. That was Adams. Okay. So if you were to get two wide receivers back, that works because Thielen's your flex. So if you could even trade Adams for a Debo and Devontae Smith, or a Olave and Lamb, or Olave and Devontae Smith, an Ayuk and a Ridley type, all those moves could make sense. Even the two wide receivers going to you. Tyler, appreciate your $6.99 hauler. 4-1. Burrow, Love, Walker, Demont. Got offered Hurts and Olave for Burrow, Ridley, Pierce. I'd probably rather have Hurts and Olave because as much as I love that Joe Burrow's back, the Cav is still on our minds and still a potential risk. And so I'd probably take Hurts, but both sides are pretty darn good, bro. For my last question, Hurts is my QB. Would you rather have K9 and Chase or Barkley and Chase? I'd rather have K9 and Chase over Barkley and Chase. I don't trust Barkley, bro, and K9's got his bye week out of the way. That's a simple one. Thank you for your super chat. How many Bijan Nico for, or how about my Bijan and Nico for Adams and Stevenson? No, I don't trust Stevenson enough to trade Bijan in that. I do like Stevenson as a throw-in, but no, I'm not doing that trade. No sirree. I trade T-Law, Ridley, Bijan, and Stevenson for Burrow, DJ Moore, and Mike Evans and Connor. What do you think? Bijan, Stevenson for and Ridley. Okay, T-Law, Ridley, Bijan, Burrow, DJ Moore, Evans. I'd probably taken the T-Law, Ridley, Bijan side. Yeah, I like DJ Moore a lot, but Connor's injured. I'm not taking that Connor side. I'm sorry. Just not taking that risk. Jordan, appreciate you with a $5. Do I trade my DJ Moore, Josh Jacobs, Kirk for Gabe Davis for Bijan, AJ Brown, and Waller? I take Bijan, AJ Brown, Waller, and then I try and flip Waller. Easy question for me, at least. I don't know if anybody disagrees. You can go ahead and vote in the chat. Hernandez, trade Pitts for D-Hop. I would take D-Hop in a millisecond. Even though I'm questioning D-Hop bouncing back, his bounce back gives him a lot of trade value. I think he's selling low. So I'd try and flip him, and if not, I'd maybe start him as a wide receiver 3 right now. 5-0, lost Achane, JJ. Trade JJ for St. Brown and Pickens in Dynasty. No. Hung like Hernandez. Dynasty does not make me sell JJ away. Absolutely not. You'll be kicking yourself later in 2024. $10 hauler from my boy Johnson. Appreciate you for dropping this one. 10-man full PPR, traded Raheem for Brees. I'd rather have Brees Hall, but Raheem could outdo him this week and do very well. You're 5-0. You can afford a little hiccup for a couple weeks if we wait on Achane. So definitely don't mind that. But you are in a good position to have Achane and Mostert, though. You know what I mean? But I probably would take Hall. I probably would take Hall in this situation, but you wouldn't be crazy to just want the safety of the two. $10, or no, this is, I'm sorry, $199, but I still want to give you a shout out. I've done that a couple times to Rise Above. Rise Above, why when you send trades in your league number one, no one replies? Because you're in a league full of a bunch of just drifters they want to do the league every year. They want to be good at fantasy, but they're too busy. And once they start getting behind, they just lose interest and they don't even check. In some cases, bro, these teams that are down and out, they get depressed even logging in and looking at their team. That's probably why. So you got to get a new league. And do Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, where they'll match up to $500 in your first deposit. You double your first deposit up to $500, which is a limited time thing, and it might end even this very second, just so you know. So you can click on it. It might not work anymore. They're extending it for a very limited amount of time. And that link I'm going to drop in the live chat right now and pin in the live chat so everybody can jump on that. And we'll be going live tomorrow night to do some drafting. And so if you guys want to get involved in that and draft with me, please click this link right now and join Underdog using the link, which inserts code Smitty for you, or you can use code Smitty and get ready and signed up. Get that double your first deposit up to $500 for a very limited time. It could even be done this very second. You got to hurry. And that's another reason to do it now. Don't wait to do it right when we draft tomorrow night. Try and get that double deposit, at least double it up to 100, but they'll do it up to 500 for a short period of time. Timothy, thank you for the super chat. Trade Monty, DJ Moore, Kittle for Bijan, McLaurin, Hawkinson. I'd probably say let's take Hawkinson and Kittle out. Not that Hawkinson's not better than Kittle. He definitely is. And without JJ, they'd probably oversaturate him. But I just want to take him out for a second and just say Monty and DJ versus McLaurin and Bijan. I think the smart play here, the logical play, is to say that Monty and DJ beat Bijan and McLaurin because Bijan isn't what we want him to be yet. Not to say that won't change. I do think it will. But logically, that trade makes sense on the Monty side for right now. To use logic, to use what's in front of you, to not overthink it, and just make the right choice based on the current values of the players. Fair market value indicates that Monty side's got the edge, but it's very arguable, and I'm just letting you know up front, I do hope that I'm wrong, because I'm going to be in here beating the drum on the Bijan Robinson rise. But I do think that it's logical to do that trade. We got a $20 hauler from J-Bone.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
J-Bone, appreciate your super chat. Traded Walker and JJ for Chase. That's a lot. That's a lot. Because Chase is above Walker, but good God. Let's see what your team is. Allen, Chase, Ayuk, D-Hop, Gabe Davis, Breece Hall, Rachaad White, Roshan Waller. I just feel like you should have got more. If you got more, you would have been like in a really good position. You know, because, I mean, look, what you should have done is trade JJ for Walker. And if you had to give up something small, you do, like Rachaad White, to get it done. But to give up JJ for Walker and, JJ for Chase. You give up JJ for Chase and you give up just a little something else, right? Like Rachaad White. But to give up Walker in addition, like Walker and Chase are pretty close. J-Bone, I probably wouldn't have done that. I would have asked for more. But I mean, your team's still very, very good. That took away some of your ability to make a trade, you know, because you got Jamar Chase. I love the team. I mean, Allen, Chase, Ayuk, D-Hop, Breece Hall. It's a good squad, but that is definitely way too much to give up. But I like your team. There's not a lot of wiggle room, though. You put yourself in a box to where you got to let this team ride it out. You know, Josh Allen and Chase need to ball out. Those are your only two pieces to sell high. Maybe you could trade Rachaad White, and maybe like Waller, because you have two tight ends to a tight end needy team, and somehow get them to give you like a Waddle or Debo. You get that done, J-Bone, and then you're kind of like back squared up, bro. Like, just try and maneuver those two pieces, a tight end of their choice, and I'd give them whatever choice they want, with Rachaad White for just that doubted Waddle, Debo, Ayuk, Lamb, Devontae Smith type wide receiver, and then you're back, bro. Not that you're down, but you know, then all of a sudden you made a great trade you wouldn't have made if you didn't do the other one, and then you're back on top, and it doesn't matter. Isaac says Dan Campbell said that Monty is the team's bell cow, which we knew, to give him 20 to 30 carries per week, and that Gibbs is a change of pace back, running back. Check out his recent interview. I'm drinking tonight, and I wanted to support. Thank you, Isaac, for dropping the $20 hauler, which we know. Yeah, thank you for clarifying his comments, but we know this already, and I think he breaks Monty this way, though. This is crazy. It's crazy to give Monty like 30 carries a game. And it's crazy to give Monty his career high, like 30 carries off of an injury that he rushed back from. So Gibbs at some point will be thrusted in. But I do think that people trading for Monty, it's wise right now. Like in terms of what you're getting, but there is risk to it. And God, man, I mean, they're just going to break him. Monty can't handle 30 carries a game. He's not going to withstand that. You can't give him more than 18 to 24 carries for the amount of weeks left straight. That's going to break him. But, I mean, he's going to ball out every single game he plays because Detroit's going to run him. And thank you, Isaac.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Did 12 on that one. Yeah, they're gonna break him, man. They're gonna break Monty. That's crazy. That's insane. That's insanity. 30 carries. Imagine getting 30 carries a game for the remaining games left in the season. $10 hauler from the ball. Appreciate the ball. Appreciate you. Hold Gibbs. If Gibbs gets cut off that news, he's a great hold. Just hold him. Don't overreact. You can't use him yet. You can't use Gibbs yet necessarily, but just don't let somebody just cut him and let somebody else grab him. Bud asked for trade help to upgrade wide receiver 2. Told him to offer Kirk and Kyron and Kamara for AJ Brown and K9. He already had Charbonnet. Lineup is now Burrow, Tyreek, A.J. Brown, ETN, K9, Garrett Wilson, Flex. Did I steer him correctly? So you told him to offer Kirk, Kyron, and Kamara for A.J. Brown, K9. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that was a good trade. I think his team's really good. I think he did a good job. Nice work. You can make arguments on both sides, but I at the end of the day, I would have told him to do the same thing. I think that's a fantastic trade. Jay, 4-1. Thank you, DeBalt. Got JJ, Olave, Hall, JT, Swift, Pickens. Should I trade JJ for Aaron Jones, HN, and bundle them for a wide receiver 1? JJ for Aaron Jones. I would definitely take Aaron Jones and HN for JJ and bundle them for a wide receiver 1. Not necessarily, but I would try and keep HN and trade Aaron Jones for a Devontae Smith, Olave, CeeDee Lamb type of player. I think that's a good move, Jay. I think you did a good job there. I think you fleeced him, bro. Trade on the table, Puka for Devontae Smith straight up. I think you get more. The fair market value for Puka is above Devontae Smith. I think buying Devontae Smith right now is you're getting the value. That you got to explore that. You can't just buy him at his old value. So you need to get more. I like where you're headed, but you need something else, something significant too, not something small. Trade Amon-Ra, Pollard, Javonte for Diggs and Pacheco. I would rather have Amon-Ra, Pollard, and Javonte over Diggs and Pacheco. But I venture to say that half the chat might disagree with me on that. But I just like that it's a solid side, and I believe in Pollard quite a bit. I think that Pacheco is an amazing player, and I like him a lot. And maybe this works out this week, but Pollard and Amon-Ra are a little bit better. Does the chat disagree? Do we like Pacheco enough to say give me Diggs with Pacheco? Or are we saying Pollard's still a top 5 running back? That's kind of preference there. Pollard with 1 or 2 more bad games could fall out of favor for everybody. Or he could bounce back and have 120 yards and a touchdown next week and be everybody's number 3 or 4 running back. So it's very week to week. And I think the entire fantasy football community is going to be fickle on this one because Pollard and the Cowboys look a little cheeks, bro. So, but I think they get back to using Pollard. We'll have to see. ETN and Bigsby for Gibbs and Roshan Johnson. Who wins? ETN and Bigsby for Gibbs and Roshan? This is even if it's a dynasty league, it's the same answer. ETN and Bigsby crush Gibbs and Roshan. As much as we love Roshan and Gibbs, my guy, ETN's a top 5, 6, 7 running back. Easy. Like, this is a total lambasting.
Got him.
I mean, it's a lambasting on the ETN side. The ETN side crushes, absolute crush, right there. Jeez, I haven't seen a worse trade I think all day. Thoughts on Kupp and Saquon for CMC? I hope you didn't. I didn't really read which side you were on. Sometimes I try and stay out of that because people word things funny. I just give you my opinion on the side. I hope you didn't do that trade. I hope you got it or you just didn't do it. Thoughts on Kupp and Saquon for CMC and Devontae Smith? I'd take CMC and Devontae Smith and run from the veto police as fast as I could.
Got him.
King 25 code 428. Dispatch veto Popo. Popo has been dispatched. King 25 out.
Where's Rock Out? Rock Out, call back in. I totally missed I missed putting you back on the show. You hung up. I'm sorry, bro. Trade away Kamara and Warren for Pollard. I'd rather have Pollard by a hair, but like I was saying earlier, like one bad game and another bad game out of Dallas, and we might be doubting Pollard a little more. But one great game and we're back. You know what I mean? So it's tough. Was thinking of dropping Chubb's. You mean Chubb? Or Downs? I'd probably drop. I mean, if it's Dynasty, I'm not dropping Nick Chubb in Dynasty. He's still got trade value. But I would drop Downs if it's Dynasty. If it's redraft, Nick Chubb's not coming back this year. So I don't know what we're talking about. $5 hauler, 10-man, 2 flex, 1 PPR, 3 and 2. Tua, Ridley, Waddle, Brees, JT, Laporta, Cup, CD. Very good team. Rashad White, any moves? Not really, bro. Trading Kyron, Debo, Aaron Jones for Eckler, Waddle. I would trade Kyron, Debo, and Aaron Jones for Eckler and Waddle. I would do that trade. Although there's some pros and cons to that trade, but you also have a lot of depth that I think I would rather just upgrade the entire roster. And Eckler's bye week free. let's ride with that side. But there's definitely pros and cons to that trade for sure. Waiting on Rockout to call me back. He must, I don't know if he just left the show. Rockout, I hope you're not mad at me. 4-1, Stroud, Stafford, Cup, Chase, Ridley, St. Brown, Nico, Dell, Laporta, Kamara, ETN, Achane, JT, Hall, Gibbs, Spears, make any moves. I mean, look, I'm trying to upgrade that quarterback the best of my ability. Like, get into Tua at the very least. Get into a Hurts or a Mahomes, obviously. But if you can get into at least a Tua, I like this team a lot. Or trade for an injured AR5 using something very small, like Tank Dell or something like that, or Nico, just to have something if, let's say, Stroud doesn't come around and you've got something for the playoffs. You're 4-1, you're going to make the playoffs and AR5 back. That would be like a worst case scenario, or Stafford for AR5, like something like that. Past that, I'm trying to get Tua using Stroud, and I would give up Nico or Tank Dell to make that happen. Would I give up any of the other pieces? Probably not. I'd probably stand pat if I'm you. You've got so much depth, you can even wait on Achane. You're 4-1 for a reason. Don't try and get too cute with that team. It's a really good squad. T-Law, Brees, Kenneth Walker III, Amon-Ra, Puka, Kincaid, drop, bench, or D-Hop, drop. D-Hop benches Ford, Achane, Flowers, Purdy 3 and 2. I feel like I'm one move away. I do too. Put Purdy into your lineup for now. I think he's safer. And then Brees Hall, Brees Hall, K Walker, Amon, Puka. It's a good team, man. Maybe you're exploring Achane for that Devontae Smith, Achane for Ridley, Achane for Olave, Achane for Lamb and something. I definitely would explore that if I'm you, but I'm also pretty careful to not give him away. I want to almost get something else in addition to that. Even if you're throwing in something small and they're throwing in something small, but you're getting a player that you absolutely love, like a Christian Watson or a quarterback upgrade or something like that. But I don't know that Achane's worth waiting on maybe for you. Lost Chubb, 1 and 4. Superflex, Mahomes, Burrow, fantastic. DJ Moore, London, Watson, pretty solid. Hall, Gibbs, Spears. Hopefully Spears steps up for you. Achane. You two need to go get Aaron Jones using Achane. You two need to go get potentially that Lamb, Devontae Smith, Olave, Ridley, St. Brown, Cooper Kupp type move for Achane. If you got to give up a potential London or something to make it happen, not DJ Moore, not your quarterbacks, not Hall, not Spears, something small, I'd maybe use that. But you can't really wait on Achane because you're 1 and 4. So I think you are a candidate, unfortunately, to trade him. But you have to get that Amon-Ra, that Olave, that type of player, maybe a Waddle and something, Debo and something, but you can't settle. You've got to make sure you're getting something significant. So when you look at your team, you say to yourself, even with Achane coming back, I'm still going to be plenty happy with the side of the trade that I got. Currently 1 and 4 QBs are Kirk, Dak, running backs JT, Hall, Cook, Roshan, Keenan Allen, A.J. Brown, Christian Watson, Jonnu Schultz. How can I save my season? You're 1 and 4. I don't like your quarterbacks, to be honest. I'm trading Kirk, and I don't know that you can even do it, but like maybe you can go get the highest you could reach, I'm sure, because no one's trading Hurts down to Kirk. It's not an attractive move. I think like you're going to have to maybe trade Cook. Like, try and trade Kirk and Cook for Hurts. Try and get Tua using Kirk, and maybe, I mean, you might have to trade. You might have to let Roshan do something if he can even pass the protocol. Like James Cook and Kirk for a quarterback. I just don't know. You're going to have to get Tua and something because I don't know if Tua is enough. I'd rather have Kirk and James Cook. JT and Hall, you don't touch that. Keenan Allen, you could sell high for Devontae Smith and get like an Aaron Jones upgrade from James Cook. So maybe you go to the Devontae Smith, the CeeDee Lamb owner, the Olave, the Ridley, the St. Brown, and find out what Keenan Allen could be downgraded into with one of those wide receivers, even Waddle, and what could you then, as a 2-for-2, upgrade James Cook into. That's the formula and recipe for you, Adrian. You got a lot of teams you could go look to that trade to as well. That's not a hard thing to do. The door is wide open for a bunch of stuff with that specific blueprint. $10 hauler from my boy Travis. Travis, mod season. Appreciate you being a mod, Travis. 0.5 PPR 2 and 3. T-Law, DK Pickens bye week. K9, ETN, Kelsey, Laporta, Ford, benches, Achane, Bigsby, Osborne, Downs, JSN, Lost, Chubb, trade suggestions, light at wide receiver. Yeah, 2 and 3. Maybe you're trading Achane if you can do some of the moves we've been talking about. The Devontae Smith, Lamb and something, Waddle and a running back, Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is definitely always a target of mine for people. I think with your running back stable, K9 and ETN, you might be okay just going toward the wide receiver front using Achane. And so you got DK, Pickens, yeah, so it's probably wide receiver for me. I think Achane can get a St. Brown, a Ridley, an Olave, a Cooper Kupp. Probably not Cooper Kupp, but you could try Devontae Smith, Lamb, Waddle. But if you go Waddle, Debo, you got to get more. If you go Lamb, I try and get more. If you go Devontae Smith, I try and get more. If you go Olave, I try and get more. Ridley, you don't need more. And St. Brown, you probably don't need more. But of course, I'd try. But Achane should be able to get you one of those players. And if you go lower end, you know, Lamb, Debo, Waddle, or Devontae Smith, because they're down and out right now, you should be able to command more. And if you can't, you throw Ford in to get that done, that 2-for-2 done. But you're the perfect candidate for a 2-for-2. I don't trade ETN. I don't trade Kelsey. I don't trade K9. He's bye-week free. And I focus on that for this team. I think it's a really good squad. I think you got a lot of upside to turn this around with one single trade. Achane was your meal ticket. It sucks. It is what it is. But some of us got to trade him. Dynasty League 4-1, 8-man league PPR Mahomes. If that's a redraft league, Travis, only. 8-man PPR Mahomes, Eckler, Hall, Waddle, Devontae Smith, Kelsey, Moss. Trade Waddle for JT. I would take JT. However, you're kind of thin at wide receiver, though. Mahomes, so Eckler, Hall, and JT. You have to be able to start all three running backs, which I'm fine with kind of creating a wide receiver hole just because I feel like the value's better. And at the end of the day, you're starting all these guys anyway. So it's not like you're ruining your lineup. They're all flex, just moved around. And I assume you got other players, so you're probably okay. But I'd probably say give me JT, especially in Dynasty. I think JT still got a lot of dynasty value, and he just signed a big fat contract, so I'd go JT. Are we trading Joshua Palmer for Javonte Williams? If it's redraft, I probably would. If it's dynasty, I definitely would. I need running back help. It's definitely a shot in the dark. Or would you push for a Zach Moss and Palmer for Aaron Jones? Look, I'd give up 7 Zach Mosses and 7 Joshua Palmers for Aaron Jones. I don't think you're going to pull that off. You might have to add more. But if you get that, you are the wizard trader of the day. Get Devontae Smith for McLaurin? Of course I do. Devontae Smith is a wide receiver 1 still. I don't know why everyone thinks he's not. Should I start McLaughlin or Javonte tomorrow? I think we got to wait and hear on the news. We can't answer that question now. Right now, put McLaughlin in and hold him there because he's done too well to take out. But we definitely need more information. Should I offer Diggs for Olave and Bijan? I would take Olave and Bijan if you need to make a move. If you're winning, then there's no sense in trading at all when you have the bigger gun. But if you need a move, that's a good move. Got offered Lamb and Achane for my Walker and Gibbs. I would probably take... if you're 4-1 or 3-2, I'd probably take the Lamb and Achane side, maybe. If you can weather through it, bro. But it's definitely a risk. It's such a risk. But if you can weather through it, that's 4 games. Make sure you can weather through it. If you can't, you can't do that. Spent the rest of my fab on Achane. Thanks for nothing, Smitty. JK. Look, Achane was winning you the league. Achane was going to win you the league. I know you're joking, but anybody out there, I've seen a couple of those comments in the YouTube that are real. It's like, Smitty, I spent all my fab on Achane. Thanks a lot. And that's it. And then they leave. It's like... thanks for nothing, Smitty. JK. That injury does blow, though. Got JJ and on that team too. You got to trade JJ. You explore trading Achane for an Aaron Jones type player, but you got to trade JJ for that high end doubted wide receiver that we keep listing off over and over. So you're trying to get the Laves and the St. Browns and the Ridleys and the Debos, the Waddles, but adding more to those lower end guys. $10 hauler. Thank you, Jared, for the $10 hauler. Wad on screen. Thank you so much, my guy. Trade DJ Moore and Monty and receive Chase and Gibbs. I'd rather have Monty and DJ Moore. My other running backs are Bijan. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. That's too much to give up. And I think that Monty is very valuable right now. And I think Jamar Chase he's no way, shape, or form the flavor of the day. But he definitely is a player that has not been consistent all year, and I feel like Joe Burrow and him bounced back, but it was a cake matchup, and it's just not worth that kind of trade to bank on it being a certainty. Melvin, appreciate Melvin with the 10 watt on screen. Smitty, 14 team PPR, 0.5 per touch, 3 and 2. Mahomes, running back Walker, McKinnon, HN, Mitchell, Cup, Ridley, Dell, Pickens, Kelsey. Trade Swift last week for Cooper Cup. I like that move. Any moves? That's a great move. Cup, Ridley, very good. Pickens, solid. Walker, HN, that sucks. Mahomes, you're 3 and 2. Aaron Jones, I keep saying it over and over. Breece Hall, ETN, other running backs potentially. I don't think you're getting Eckler. Hall's going to be tough. Bijan might be attainable with HN and maybe, let's say, a Pickens, and I would do that. I would create a hole for myself potentially, but I don't know that they're going to do that necessarily. Would I trade Walker and HN together for maybe Eckler and something? You know, it had to be something, but like something I would consider. HN for JT. That would be an interesting move. JT owners are very frantic right now. I've got a lot of people messaging me. I'm really worried about JT. Like, I think JT's vulnerable to get traded for. I was offered JJ for Breece and Garrett Wilson. I'd rather have Breece Hall over JJ right now. I only have Bijan Robinson and Javonte at running back, so why would you do that? Should I take it? No. Your wide receivers are Chase and Adams and Andrews. You'd have no RBs. Absolutely not. Was offered JJ for Breece. No. Don't go get JJ. Breece Hall's a safer player right now. JJ, you don't know is coming back, and your running backs would be cheeks if you did that. Lost my dad last week. Wanted to thank you, Smitty, for doing what you do and giving me something to look forward to keep my mind off life for a bit. Salute. Can we all give Kane a couple prayer emojis and send Kane, Papa Kane to the moon?
To the moon.
Papa Kane to the moon. Appreciate you. I'm sorry to hear about the loss, bro. Kane, we're here for you. This is a family, and we're here to support you. So please, I want nothing but prayer emojis for Papa Kane for the next 30 seconds minimum. So if I see any questions about who should I start this week, Smitty, what do you think about? And I don't just see prayer emojis for 30 straight seconds. Anybody that drops another question other than a prayer emoji is taking a lap right now. So please drop it. 30 straight seconds. Go. Kane, appreciate your super chat. And again, sorry to hear, pal. Prayers up. 10-man league. Okay, here we go. Jedi, prayer emoji, rocket emojis work. That's fine. I just want to see who's going to... Moss for Henry, YouTube player 20. Way to take a lap, bro. Way to take a big fat lap. Asking a question right now when Kane needs our prayer emojis. Look at this. Look at these good prayer comments. Everybody, appreciate you dropping that. That's what I'm talking about. Pops to the moon. Rushman. Way to crap the bed, Rushman. A-Chan will always be injured. Right in the middle of all the prayer emojis. Take a lap, Rushman. Okay, now you guys can get back to business, but Kane, appreciate you, man. Sorry to hear that you're going through that. 10-man keeper league. I want Garrett Wilson, but he wants Swift. I'd rather have Swift right now. Actually, keeper league. It depends on the keeper league format, though. You know, like keeper league and dynasty are very different. I'd rather have Garrett Wilson and dynasty. Keeper, not so much. Keeper Swift is good enough. Like I don't know that I'm necessarily. Rush, you're good. You're good here. You don't be too mad that I sent you on a lap, Rush. I think Rush has got thick skin. I don't think he's taking it hard, but Rush, appreciate you. Jeez, it's not awesome, Rush. It wasn't awesome. It was a blunder. What are you talking about? Who that nation stand up? Hi, Smitty. How are you? Trade my Jaleel for Gibbs and stash. Feel like Monty will get injured from overusage. Trade Jaleel for Gibbs and a stash. I would do that. I'd take Gibbs in a heartbeat for that to back up your Montgomery. Absolutely. And Gibbs might have more value than that very soon. Keep in mind that, and I know this is not like all that comforting right now, but freaking A-Chan was doing all of that work on the prior to week number 5, doing all that work on the same touches and volume that Gibbs was getting for the most part. Traded JJ and Burrow for Josh Allen and Thielen. I would rather have Josh Allen and Thielen probably. I think that's scary. It's a scary trade though if JJ comes back. Like you could really feel very bad about yourself after if JJ comes back after 4 weeks and balls out. But I think like Josh Allen is solid, man. Trade Ayuk or Hollywood Brown for Pacheco. I would keep Ayuk. I would trade Hollywood Brown in a second for Pacheco. Would I trade Ayuk for Pacheco? Yeah, but not after you told me I could do it the other way around. Now I don't want to do the other one. Trade Pickens for Higgins. I'd probably rather have Pickens. But I understand. Higgins is injured, though. He's not necessarily a lock to play. I think Pickens is better. Deontay coming back doesn't scare me. And Pickens doesn't even target Deontay. Josh, Herbert, Puka, D-Hop, Jacobs, Gibbs, DeMarcado, and Waller. Benches Spears, Dell, Charbonnet, Warren, Goff. Okay, any moves? Jacobs. Get rid of Jacobs, bro. Jacobs and, I don't know, try and sell Waller in a very, very tough tight end climate. Go get a tight end off waivers. It'd probably be better than Waller consistency-wise. Do I try and upgrade D-Hop while he's hot? Yeah, or trade Hopkins and Jacobs for one big-name player, one running back, one JT, one player like, I don't know, D-Hop and Waller for a Ridley, St. Brown, a Olave type player. I would definitely look to do that. Past that, it's kind of hard. Your team definitely is thinned out. You got to trade JJ. That's probably the best move advice I could give you is trade JJ for that grip of wide receivers from Ridley on down to Waddle. And as you go down to the Waddles and the Debos, you have to get a little more, not just a 1-for-1. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you. Ernesto, thank you so much. $10 hauler from my boy Ernesto coming in strong. Says 10-man PPR. My DK Amari for TJ Hawkinson in London. I'd rather have DK and Amari. I like Hawkinson. I do. It's a positional advantage. It's great. London's got upside, but London's very shaky. I think DK and Amari are better. It's very, very arguable. Only have Musgrave. Musgrave's pretty decent. I know the tight end option it's nice to upgrade that, but at the same time, bro, DK and Amari's playing very well. I would trade Amari, though. I think Watson scares the hell out of me. So I would definitely trade Amari if you can. I just don't know if that's the move. If you could swap London out with something, I think now we're talking. Only a Musgrave still will be left with Garrett Wilson, Olave, yeah. Not trading those. With the wide receivers you'd have left are solid, Hopkins, Olave, but I think I'm probably trying to do something different. That's all. It's not that you don't have the right idea in mind. I just think that's overpaying to just force the only guy that's willing to trade right now. 12-team Dynasty Superflex, Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson, awesome quarterbacks. Walker, Kelsey. Maybe it's time to trade Kelsey. 3-2 hold sell. I mean, I'd probably try and get rid of Kelsey on the high right now. I don't know that anybody's buying, though, in a Superflex Dynasty, though. I don't know that anybody would. So I don't know what you could really do here. This is a tough like team to maneuver with because you have guys that are doing very badly, and I'm not necessarily getting rid of Garrett Wilson because he's doing badly. I'm not getting rid of AR5 because he's injured, or Lamar because he's playing badly. Walker's off his bye. I suppose you could trade Walker for, let's say, I don't know. It would depend on what you could get, but Walker, I would explore Walker trades. And I'd first go to like those Waddle, Debo owners and see what you can get running back wise back. I'm not saying to trade Walker. I'd only even do this if you could win now. If you can't win now, I just probably say try and win. You know, you're the best you can. You got two amazing quarterbacks, but one of them's injured. I would just sell. If you think you can't win right now, keep Walker. He's got tremendous dynasty value. Maybe try and trade Kelsey for a Breece Hall. Maybe try and trade Kelsey for a Gibbs and a Devontae Smith or something like that. Go to the Gibbs owner. See what Gibbs throw-in can get you. Gibbs thrown into a deal, and you get that wide receiver that's very, very doubted right now, playing bad. I'd do that for Kelsey. Kelsey's dynasty value is not that high. Thank you for the $10 hauler, Deuce. Aloha 1-4, last place, 10-man league. Hurts, JJ, that sucks. AR5 or Amon-Ra St. Brown been banged up. Devonta Smith been struggling. Kamara and Pacheco are strong. Jaleel's good trade bait. Hold on Roshan. Hold on Sharps. Hold on DeMarcado. Hawkinson, maybe trade, maybe hold. Any moves? I'm probably taking this team to the promised land after I trade JJ away, assuming this is redraft. I trade JJ away for that Aaron Jones, for any of the wide receivers I keep spitting out of my mouth over and over and over from, and even if you own one of these, I might be repeating it. Just I'm on Raw, you have, right? JJ, Devontae Smith. So Lamb, Olave, Cup, Waddle, Debo with a different player. Waddle and Debo need to have somebody accompany them. Waddle and Debo might be able to get you Aaron Jones, and you trade JJ and Jaleel. Like, that's how you smash that trade. The 2 for 2 works better than the 1 for 2, to be honest with you, bro. Because you just throw that Jaleel in, and all of a sudden they start doing this 2 for 2 that they shouldn't do. So go to the Aaron Jones owner, see what you can get. Go to the Breece Hall owner, see what you can get. Try and get that Debo Waddle included. Whatever wide receiver can get included with one of those RBs. Want Adams or Lamb. Lamar, Flowers, Debo. Look, you could maybe trade Pacheco straight up for one of them if you threw in, or not straight up, but if you threw in like a Dell, would you be able to get either one of them for Hawkinson and a player? Maybe. I mean, tight ends are really hard to come by. I don't think anybody's giving you, maybe Debo for Lamb, maybe Debo and Dell for Lamb. Maybe because you got Lamar, you trade Purdy. If one of these owners is weak at quarterback, throw Purdy their way and try and get an upgrade somehow to Adams or Lamb using your potential, I don't know, Dell. Purdy and Dell for Lamb, that's pretty attainable right now. Adams will be harder to get in a redraft. I mean, you could try and shoot high, but Lamb should be pretty easy to get, especially if they're hurting a quarterback. If they're not hurting a quarterback, you can use Debo somehow, but there's not a whole lot to maneuver there. This one right here, 2 and 3, full PPR, Kittle, Addison, and for Aaron Jones and Waller. I'd rather have Aaron Jones and Waller, especially after the bye week. I think Aaron Jones is fully healthy, but that's me. I definitely sell high on Kittle. Mike Connor for Damian Pierce, Curtis Samuel. I'd rather hold and wait on Connor, I suppose. Can't trade JJ. Keep trying. I'd rather hold and wait on Connor than get that, I suppose. Pierce is interesting, though. I do think there's some potential for him, but it's not a guarantee. Offer on the table, my DJ Moore and Jaleel for Aaron Jones and Boyd. I'd rather have DJ Moore and Jaleel. DJ Moore is worth more than this right now. Aaron Jones is very undervalued. You're buying him as if he's going nuts right now. You need to buy him lower than that. You need to get a lot more. I would love to hear your thoughts on Jordan Addison the rest of the season. I just have a weird feeling he's about to send it to the moon. I like him a lot. I think he's in a very good position, but we also have seen him thrive with JJ commanding all that double team coverage. He is a smaller guy, so he has to try and he's going up against number 1 corners now. He's got to potentially figure out a way to gain separation. He is a smaller guy, and I think that there's some concern there, but there's also some excitement. So I'm kind of torn. I don't think he's a fantasy football like top 8 to 10 wide receiver, but could he be a high-end wide receiver 2 at times and fluctuate between that and a high-end wide receiver 3? Sure, but we still don't know if the team's going to be winning. And if they're throwing from behind, that's good. But do they trade away Kirk Cousins? There's a lot of moving parts here that I think nobody really realizes yet. But I do think for the most part, counting on high-end, super high-end wide receiver 3 numbers is very warranted. But it's not like he's a wide receiver 1 in fantasy, a top 15 lock for wide receiver numbers. Could he get to the top 15 to 20? I suppose it's possible. But keep in mind, JJ might only be out for 4 weeks. Might be out longer. We don't know. So this is a big, expectation for a short window of time, too. You got to keep that in mind. I would love to... Oh, I got that one already. Thank you, Chase. Appreciate you. But trust your gut. If you love him, I mean, we could be coming in here 2 weeks from now going, wow, he's unbelievable. Yo, Smitty, what's up, brother? My Swift Pickens for Achane and Jones. I'd take Achane and Jones and run. Absolutely run. That's an amazing move. And then maybe you flip, some of that if you needed a wide receiver like you're saying, but that's a great move. I like that quite a bit. D. Smith, T. Law for Burrow and Higgins. I would take... I guess I would... Look, I like Devontae Smith a lot. I buy him low, but I would probably take Burrow and Higgins and bank on Burrow, but that's really close. I like T. Law a lot. I don't know. Wait a minute. Let me think about that. Let me put that one back on screen. Chat, are we banking on T. Law? Are we banking on the Law dog here? And say Devontae Smith's bouncing back, because I love Devontae Smith. I mean, I don't love Higgins, but I like Burrow a lot. Burrow looks back. I don't know what you guys think on this one. But if I could get you guys to drop a super chat. Vita Live TV dropped a super chat with nothing attached. Let me see if I can find a corresponding question. Make sure you guys include your questions in the super chat, because by the time I get to it, I won't even see it. I'm lucky to find it. Here is, I think, the question, but make sure you guys include it in there. $10 hauler from Vita LTV. Appreciate you.
To the moon.
Thank you for your super chat. And I got another person that says, Smitty, you missed my super chat. Smitty, you missed Alex's super chat. Alex, where are you? Alex. Let me see. Trade Kamara and JT for JT and Komet. I think I answered that one. I would rather have, I mean, it was a long time ago. I don't expect you to not take a little potty break, Alex. Trade Kamara for JT and Komet. I'd rather have the Kamara side because of the ambiguity around JT's situation for right now. But is this something that I could see unfolding differently? Absolutely. Absolutely. I did address this, Alex. I remember exactly saying, I like both sides, but I'm leaning Kamara because he's here. JT's unraveling and unfolding, and we love JT. He's a good acquisition, but definitely feel like the Kamara side's just better right now. Doesn't mean that can't change, though. It 100% can change. And what do we say? Keep Burrow, Lawrence side, Olave. What are we doing here, guys? Can you keep voting here? I'm not banking on T-Law. Smitty, you missed my super chat. T-Law. Smith and T-Law slightly. I'm loving T-Law at the moment. I'm probably going to go Burrow and Higgins by a hair just because I believe in Burrow so much. But it's a really tough one. Vita with the $10 2 and 3. I got AR, Jordan Love, running back Gibbs, Saquon, tight end Hawkinson, Laporta. You got to trade one of the tight ends because the value's there. Addison, I maybe sell high on Addison to take advantage of just upgrading something. Ridley, what QB or running back should you trade for? I'd probably say Aaron Jones and JT. Those are the two RBs that are the easiest to acquire right now. We've got Aaron Jones on screen. We got JT on screen. We got Bijan. Bijan is a little easier to acquire than he should be, but I don't know that you're getting Bijan. I mean, I guess you could maybe... I get my mouth so dry from talking so long. I guess you could maybe trade Hawkinson for Bijan by giving up somebody else. I wouldn't give up Saquon to do that. Would I trade Saquon for Bijan? Absolutely. Would I give up Laporta and Saquon for Bijan? Yes, I would. That's what I would do. Saquon for JT. Saquon for Aaron Jones, and then maybe ask for an Addison to Devontae Smith upgrade, or Addison to Olave, or Addison, you know what I mean? So go to the JT owner and go to the Aaron Jones owner. Try and use Saquon into that player and get the Addison upgrade into the plethora of names we were throwing out, from Devontae Smith to Lamb to Ridley to St. Brown to Olave. That's how you upgrade that squad. That's easy peasy, bro. You got a ton of options and opportunities to do that too. Trade Kelsey Flowers for Hawkinson and St. Brown. Give me Hawkinson and St. Brown by quite a bit, Michael. That's an easy one. Hawkinson's going to get fed too. A.J. Brown and B. Hall for Walker, Garrett Wilson. I'd take A.J. Brown and B. Hall for Walker and Garrett Wilson. But, you know, the bye week out of the way is nice for Walker, I will say. Where's Rock Out? Why isn't Rock Out called back? Hey, Smitty, got offered Waddle for Pacheco. I'd probably rather have, kind of thin at wide receiver, have Pollard and Walker. I'd probably rather have Waddle if you're good at RB. But they're very arguable. Like, I could tell somebody that needs a running back to get Pacheco in that side. And if somebody needs a wide receiver, tell them to go get Waddle. Phone lines are open. Please call into the phone line briefly. 30-second calls. We're going quick, and then we're going to be out of here because we've been live for freaking 2.5 hours. Call into the
show.
The Alex Soberon phone line until somebody drops a $140 super chat or higher. It's Alex Soberon's phone line. So call into the Alex Soberon phone line, presented by Alex Soberon, the highest super chatter of October with a 139 WAD. Anybody wants to replace his name, just drop 140 WAD, and you will be the highest super chatter of the freaking month until somebody knocks you off. Young, you got 30 seconds.
Yo, Smitty.
You got 21 seconds. I'll reset the timer for you. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I just heard you right now.
No problem.
Would you trade? What do you think about? I know you like Ridley. I like Ridley too, but for Watson and Ramondre, I know you've been talking about Ramondre might bounce back, and I'm a Achane and Barkley owner. So, what do you think about that?
Well, let me correct you. I don't think Ramondre bounces back. I think that he's a great throw-in in case he bounces back. Like, not promoting Ramondre as a great buy low. I'm promoting Ramondre as a great throw-in. You know what I mean? So okay, I don't mind this trade if you need something badly to go right for you. Like, you can't win. No one else is trading for you. Watson could hang with Ridley in a perfect world. I mean, look, Watson should have had two touchdowns. You know, like it was crazy watching Watson, just get fed improperly. It was very annoying, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I guess I would say I lean Ridley, but if you did this, I wouldn't make you take a lap or anything. And there's definitely upside on both sides. Like if Ridley did bounce back and Watson almost hangs with Ridley, which he's capable of doing, it would be a home run. But there's a lot of moving parts to that.
Got you.
It's tough. I mean, what are you leaning toward doing it?
I don't know. I have, like I said, Achane hit me hard. Still waiting on Barkley to come back. My running backs right now is McLaughlin, Spears, DeMarcado. I'd
probably do it if I was you. If you needed this and you're not going to win with Ridley. If you're not going to win with Ridley, then go ahead and do it. All right. Hey, appreciate you, Young. Call back again. You can get back in line. 480 caller. Who is this? Where are you calling from? .407 caller. Who's this? Where are you calling from? Brian from Orlando. Brian, what can I do for
Orlando,
you?
Yes, sir.
What's up, Brian?
I got two trades that I may have for today. I'm going to tell you the first one very quick. I traded Bijan Robinson and Jalen Waddle for Aaron Jones and Devontae Smith.
All right, hold on. Let me get your timer started. Okay, go ahead. Do it now. What is it? Say it again.
Okay, Bijan Robinson and Jalen Waddle. I sent them for Aaron Jones and Devontae Smith.
Yeah. You're wasting my marker. That's great. That's great. All right, second trade, quick.
Okay. Quick. Good. The second one was I traded Joe Mixon and DK Metcalf for CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, and Tajay Spears.
Jeudy, Spears. This one's more like.
Yeah, because Mixon has been like, he gets the workload, but he's kind of boring, just getting 10 points.
Yeah, but I don't know. This one's tougher. Like you're banking on Spears. If Spears becomes the guy, then you 100% are going to win this trade. But you can't necessarily buy Spears at this value. I probably say like I lean toward the Mixon DK side, but on the opportunity to trade Mixon away still. I don't want Mixon at all. But I don't know that you got worked over or anything. But it's just like. DK and CD are.
Jerry Jeudy gets traded to a better situation. Maybe
I don't.
As well, and I'm hoping CeeDee Lamb,
Yeah,
goes
I don't know. I probably wouldn't have done this one. I would have tried to get more for Mixon. You could have probably traded Mixon and DK for JT, or Mixon and DK for like the wide receiver under Diggs, like that, or right around there.
Yeah, but I should feel good about the first trade, right? The first trade was good.
The first trade was money. Second trade, not so much. Not horrible, but it's not great.
Right. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, good. You're 1 for 2. That's not bad.
Keep doing your work, man.
All right, later, Brian. Thank you. All right, Travis, Marsman. Where's Rock Out? I put Rock Out on a long hold, and I think he got mad at me and left, or he had to go do something. I'm making assumptions here, but Travis, I don't know where Rock Out is if he's been in the chat, but what can I do for you, Travis?
Yeah, I haven't seen him lately. What's your feeling on in a redraft trading Kelsey right now? Would you actively be looking to move him? You know, if you can get something good for him because of injury risk, or
no, it just
thought of riding it out with it.
Just depends on if you need a trade. Like if your team can't win with Kelsey, then you look to trade Kelsey. If your team can win with Kelsey, I mean, he's a buy low.
Like my team has Laporta too. If I could trade Kelsey and A-Chain for like Ridley and Garrett Wilson, would you do that? I could use another wide receiver.
Kelsey and A-Chan for what?
For Ridley and Garrett Wilson.
Kelsey and A-Chan. Rock Out, I'm trying to add you and it won't let me add you. Call in one more time, Rock Out. I'm clicking it and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes when there's a caller on here that their phone line's weird or something, it doesn't let me add other people. It's so weird. But hold on. Try again, Rock Out. Kelsey and A-Chan for Ridley and another player?
I would try for Garrett Wilson if I could get Garrett Wilson.
I'd rather have Kelsey and A-Chan. I mean, A-Chan coming back. He's coming back. It's not like, I know everybody's thinking,
right.
I think everybody's thinking like JJ might not come back. And then we're just constantly like so down about the IR. We're like, well, maybe A-Chain doesn't come back. Like A-Chain's coming back. Like 4 weeks is going to fly. All right, Rock Out, I'm trying to add you. Hopefully it adds you this time. There it is. Rock Out's added. Okay.
So
Rock Out, you're next.
So basically, unless I know he's a buy low right now. I just have a couple people in my league that are actually interested in Kelsey. So unless I could get like someone along the lines of like, you know, a Diggs or something in a deal for him.
I mean, he's on my buy low list, so I'm not selling him. I'm not in the business of selling him, but I will sell anybody that is a sell high to get buy low players. Like if I could sell Kelsey to get Devontae Smith and Aaron Jones, I do that. If I could sell Kelsey to get Bijan, I probably can. Bijan and Ayuk, I do that. If I'm selling, but Kelsey to me is a top like 7 overall pick. And maybe Bijan is still in our mind capable of it, but you have to like look at the fair market value and say Bijan's not a top 7 overall pick to the entire world, so you can't pay that. So Kelsey, look, Mahomes hasn't done anything significant yet, and the same thing happened to Fields. DJ Moore didn't do anything because of Fields, and Kelsey hasn't done much because of Mahomes. And I'm not betting that Mahomes stays dormant. Mahomes is going to bust loose.
Do you have confidence in Chase over Kelsey right now?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
if I could go after a Chase for say Kelsey,
yeah,
I
think anybody
do that.
Anybody take Diggs.
What about
Chase? All right, last one, and I gotta jump over to Rock Out because he's been waiting a while, and then Spiffy, and I got a huge phone line. Go ahead, one more.
Yeah, no problem. So, say if I send Kelsey and HN for Chase and Devontae Smith, if you'd send him.
Yeah, I do that. But Kelsey and Achan for just Chase is tough because Kelsey and Chase are close, and you're getting rid of Achan. You can't just get rid of Achan like that. Achan in 5 weeks from now could be a top 5 running back, and you're like, you got to think about it from the context of, can you make the playoffs without 4 games of Achan? If you can, then nothing matters. As long as you crawl into the playoffs, who cares about seeding? If you crawl into the playoffs, unless it's a total point league, and you're sitting there in the playoffs with Achan, then unbelievable, you know?
All right. Thank you, Smitty.
Yeah. Big Rod, who are you talking about, Big Rod? Thanks, Travis. Appreciate you. All right, Rock Out, Marsman Rock Out. I don't know if you were mad at me or if you just had to go, Rock Out. I'm sorry I put you on hold for so long.
No, you're good. I had to get to a call, but yeah. You know what the deal with Olave is? He had like a knee injury.
Toe injury.
Or toe.
Doesn't feel like it's a big deal, but it's certainly a concern enough that people are freaking out, and that's good if you're buying, and that's not good if you're trying to sell. So if you own them, you're holding them. If you don't own them, you're contemplating buying low, and that's why he's on the plethora of buy lows right in front of your face right here. Love buying Olave right now. Love buying St. Brown. Love buying Devontae Smith. Love buying Waddle. He's not on here, but he should be. Debo's on here. I'll put Waddle on here as well. These are all great buy low players.
All right, I need 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. Can I give you a little rundown?
Yeah, let's go. Hit me with it.
Well, yeah. All right. Olave, St. Brown, Ayuk, McLaurin, Roshan, and Javante or McClutchin.
McClutchin? Who the hell's McClutchin?
Javante's backup.
McClutchin. Rock Out makes up these names. I love it. McClutchin.
McCoughlin.
McClutchin. Okay, McLaurin.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to wait for Roshan or play
McClutchin.
the Denver.
Who's the person being ultra negative? What are we talking about here? Who's the guy being ultra negative? Somebody keeps saying the guy's adding nothing to the. What are we doing here? Who is it? Who is it that's being an ultra negative person in the chat?
Oh, someone is.
I'm gonna be looking for McClutchin. This is one of the best nicknames yet. All right, what is the question here? What's the question here, Rockout?
Well, I need 2 wide receivers, 2 flex out of them.
Okay, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Okay, so Olave and St. Brown are locks, like no doubt about it. And then your 2 flexes are going to be Ayuk and McLaurin for now. But like, if we hear good news on Roshan, then we can switch gears. But right now he's not even past the protocol, so you have your decision is made for you. Like if he gets cleared and they're like he's going to start, etc., then bro, we're putting Roshan in. We're excited about that, but you got to go McLaurin right now. McClutchin is a decent play, I suppose, but would anybody start McClutchin, aka Jaleel McLaughlin, or would you start McLaurin? McClutchin or McLaurin? McLaurin or McClutchin?
McLaurin got a tough matchup, but plays Atlanta.
Yeah.
Against that Terry cornerback, Terrell.
McClutchin. I'd probably go McLaurin over McClutchin, aka McLaughlin. But it's tough. That's tough. It's a tough one. I think it's wait and see. Hopefully Roshan gets cleared. He's still got time, but like, why is he not cleared yet? What's wrong? Did he get rocked? Like, I know he got hit, but I didn't think it was this bad to where it's like he's got 10 days and he can't get cleared. I don't know.
Yeah, with McLaughlin, we have to make a decision by tomorrow.
McLaughlin. McLaughlin. MacGyver. McClutchin. But McLaughlin is interesting for sure. He's interesting, but with Javante back, it kind of almost kicks that in the nuts, and then you got P. Ryan, and so it's a 3-headed monster. But McLaughlin's so like shifty. I guess we got a couple McClutchin votes. McClutchin. I think they just love the name though. I don't know if I trust the chat right now to give you. They just want to say the name McClutchin. I don't know if they're really voting McClutchin. And if anybody's trying to spell McClutchin, trying to pick this guy up, like who the hell are they talking about? His name's really spelled McLaughlin. All right, hey, rock out last one, and then I got to get to the callers and super chats.
And how about either Purdy or Burrow?
Boy.
Well, coming up good games.
Yeah. Oh man, who do I start this week? I mean,
Purdy plays Cleveland.
Yeah.
And then Burrow versus Seattle.
Yeah, I'll probably safety lean Purdy, but upside Burrow. Like, are you projected to win? Are you projected to?
No, and my opponent got Chase.
Yeah, and that's tough too because like if Burrow does badly, and Purdy goes nuts, you have an advantage on him. Like everybody always likes to say Burrow, you start Burrow to take away his Jamar Chase. That's true, but at the same time, it could flip the entire other direction on you, and you could end up having, this monster Purdy with his no Burrow or no Chase. But I think I can't go against Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow. I think I get burrowed. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it. I mean, not to remember, I think Purdy's not going to always have 4 touchdowns, He could have that 1 touchdown game, manages it very well. Like, I know everybody wants to jump on Purdy like he's a 3 touchdown lock go forward. He'll have those games, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the cigar smoker, bro.
Depends on McCaffrey.
Yeah.
How they use them during the game.
Get burrowed. All right, appreciate your rock out. We'll see you later, pal. I got to get back to the 30 seconds. Those were Marsmen. They get a little bit more time. Unless I'm in a crunch, I'll tell them they have 30 seconds and answer nobody's calls but theirs. This is why people purchase this Marsman card. There are only 11 of them out there. 11 people have the ability to call into the phone line at any moment, even if I'm not taking phone calls. And it's Marsmen only. We sold these for a reason. You may not get in the league, but we may inject maybe like 5 more of these cards of a different variety. They won't be called Marsman cards, but like a Bijan card that will allow you to break into the phone line as well. But that's the only perk you get with it. Whereas, these other guys get a whole bunch of other perks with their Marsman card. But I'm contemplating selling and releasing 5 more. We'll call them Bijan cards or something like that. So hang tight for that. There'll be 5 released. You'll have literally, direct access into the phone line. I think we got Spiffy on the phone. Spiffy, you got 30 seconds. Make it snappy, bro. I'm going to hang up on you after 30 and answer the best of my ability with your questions. So, are you ready? You prepared?
Yes.
Take a deep breath.
Yes.
All right, Spiffy, go.
So I got offered Laporta for Swift.
I would take Swift. So no.
Is it close?
It's close, but I think that the RB, like, am I drafting Swift over Laporta? I am. In a week and a half from now, might I be thinking different? Maybe. But in a week and a half from now, I could be thinking different in the other direction to the extreme.
Yeah.
So I think you deserve more. I think Swift deserves more. This is a horrible running back environment, bro, right now. The climate's horrible for RBs. And so, I know tight ends as well, but there's still like Ferguson's and, Goddard's bouncing back, and there's Schultz popping up. And I'm not saying those are like amazing tight ends, and Laporte is really good, but he's also a rookie, and rookies will have rookie walls and ups and downs and moments. And I just think you can't trade away Swift on the low. You got to be getting something back. It's just not fair enough.
So you think if he throws in something, maybe?
Maybe, but it depends on what it is. If it's something you're never going to use, it doesn't make me feel better to just do the trade. Yeah. Swift is very, very.
In my situation, I have, I think, a good depth at running back, and to be frank, I have Kincaid as my tight end.
Well, Kincaid's not doing anything yet. Like, people aren't listening to me about Kincaid. I say it every show, maybe 2 or 3 times. Kincaid's in the concussion protocol right now anyway. But Kincaid is not necessarily somebody you have to be starting right now. Now, in dire situations where 6 points for your tight end can work and he's getting 2-3 receptions, 3 or 4 targets a game, he's still getting targeted. But Kincaid's breakout may not happen until week 10. Maybe it's 2024, but I really do think at some point he will break out. But he was never expected to, have to go off until mid-season, So, everyone's like, I guess Kincaid was a bust. We said it all offseason. He'd be the most cut guy probably coming out of week 1 because people were drafting him to do what Laporta's doing. And he had a chance to do it, but he needed, Gabe Davis to crap the bed. Gabe Davis didn't crap the bed. So, but anyway, all right, Spiffy, appreciate you.
Thanks.
Yep. Hank from Illinois, you got 30 seconds, and I got 7 super chatters. I know those are there. I'm coming for them next. Hank from Illinois, you're up.
I want to hear your thoughts on this trade, man. I'm really happy. So I traded Christian Kirk for Chris Olave. Chris Olave, bro.
I like that, bro.
Got him.
I like that.
Got him.
I think you got him hardcore, bro. I like Kirk. Kirk's steady Eddie. He's a good wide receiver 3-4, but Olave still potential wide receiver 1 material being completely discredited. Everybody acting like he doesn't have wide receiver 1 upside, which is BS to me. So Olave to the moon. Nice job. Appreciate you, Hank. Go do it live. Jared, you got 30 seconds.
Smitty.
Yeah.
I hit you up with the DJ Moore trade trying to get Chase. You said don't do that. I want to get off DJ Moore, take advantage of this. I don't know if he's going to keep this up all year. Who do you think I should try and get? I lost Mike Williams earlier. I need wide receiver.
Well, I mean, Chase last week was different than Chase this week. I mean, DJ Moore had an unbelievable game. Chase had an unbelievable game. They're arguably two of the hottest wide receivers in fantasy. But if you believe he won't keep it up, and you don't think you can get Chase now because Chase blew up, and I mean, they both blew up, so you have a little leeway to try and do that if you wanted to maneuver that way. Joe Burrow being back is also a key component in Jamar Chase right now. So I'm feeling good about Chase right now. Could you get this in a – what?
I was going to say straight across you're okay with it because I was going to do Monty for Gibbs, and you said no way. But he's got Achane on IR. He's doing Achane as well.
Achane on IR. So what do you what
Achane for Monty and then DJ for Chase?
Achane for Monty? You're not going to get Monty.
So Chase, Gibbs, and Achane for DJ Moore and Monty.
Okay. I mean that's tough, bro. That is tough. I don't know. I mean, DJ, look, Monty's going to go nuts in the next couple weeks, and I do believe he's at high risk of getting hurt by like week 10, 11, 12, but DJ Moore and Monty is solid. I probably take, geez, bro. Do you have the depth to endure this waiting on Achane?
I have Bijan, I have Jalen Warren, then I have Sharps and Roshan. My wide receivers, I have Diggs, so I'm solid at wide receiver, and then I have Marquise Brown, JSN, and Quentin Johnston.
Guys, mute if you could, if you're on hold. We're hearing people like hacking on the phone and just fumbling around, and it's like, just mute yourself if you could. If you're on hold waiting, instead of going, ha! All right, DJ Moore, I don't know. The guy who coughed. Who coughed? You answer this question. DJ Moore, Monty, or Chase, Gibbs, Achane? What are you doing?
I take Gibbs, Chase, Achane, and I apologize.
You don't have to apologize for being you, bro. I'm just saying I
apologize for coughing.
Yeah, but you don't have to apologize. You're just being yourself. Who is it? Who is this? Jared or Thomas?
This is Thomas.
Thomas, you don't have to apologize for being Thomas. I like you the way you are. You don't change for anybody, okay? You would take which side would you take, Thomas?
I'm trying to take the Achane side.
Achane side. I mean, I kind of want to take that side. Is someone like hang gliding? Like, what is that? Are you on the Matterhorn at Disneyland? Is that the abominable snowman? Like, what's going on back there?
Oh, that might be me. I'm at work. I work in a warehouse and there's forklifts. But I just ran outside real quick. So
you don't have to apologize for being you. Who's saying they got forklifts? Is that Zach or is that Jared or is that Thomas?
This is Thomas.
Thomas again. Thomas again. Doing it live. I love how Thomas operates. Thomas, don't feel bad. I just because I'm wondering what the hell's going on. I just wonder what the hell going on. I'd take the Achane Chase side. I'd take the risk. I'd put my cojones on the table. Who's asking this question again?
It's Jared from Sacramento.
Jared, what's your record, Jared?
3-2. I got fucked last week because the guy I played. Sorry, I got screwed last week because the guy I played had Justin Fields and ETN.
Look, Jared, I'd probably do it, but this could really hurt you this week if DJ Moore goes nuts because we know Monty's probably gonna eat. I take Achane, bro. I take Achane. I do Achane. It's crazy. I do Achane, but that's me. All right, gotta go, Jared. Appreciate you. Later. right.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thomas, you're live. 30 seconds.
Hey, yo, Smitty, I just wanted your thoughts on KJ Osborne in a 2 flex for like the rest of the season, just like as like an average like 2 flex option.
Yeah, he's good. He's definitely going to get an uptick. He definitely feels like a poor man's Nico Collins or Tank Dell. I don't know that he's going to be as good as those guys, even rotationally.
Do you think he'll get the targets? I mean, do you think he'll get a solid like 5-6 targets a game?
Yeah, yeah, I think he could. Whether he, is someone else doing a 4? Oh, that's Thomas again. That's a 4. Don't worry, Thomas. Don't worry about it.
That's all, boss.
Yeah, Thomas. Thomas.
I got to get back to work.
Okay, don't get fired. All right, later, Thomas. He's okay, Thomas. He's okay. All right, later.
Thank you.
Thomas cracks me up. I like that he's calling. Thomas, I don't want you to be detoured from calling in at work. We enjoy all these. Now that we know what the lay of the land is, Thomas, when you call in, I feel like we'll be more prepared for it. So when Thomas calls in, we won't be like, what's that noise? We'll just accept that there's forklifts and people like delivering produce, and there's going to be all kinds of screaming and yelling. Hey, Jim, put this back in the back, Jim. Okay, bring the forklift this way. All right, Al, we need more. We need more hay. Bring a bale of hay, a rack of hay over for Jim's tractor. Like we're going to know what to expect. So like, I don't want you not calling in, Thomas, just because you're at work, giving them 70% of your effort while you're giving 30% to the show. You know, Zach, you got 30 seconds, and I gotta stick to the timer. I've got 9 super chats waiting right now, so I'm rolling through the 3 of the calls. Nobody else can get into the phone line. 3 calls, doing it quick, hanging up on you. I promise. The chat, I swear to you, at 30 seconds, I'm hitting disconnect, and then I'm going to answer the question. You can listen after you get off. 30 seconds, Zach, go.
Okay, would you trade Bijan Robinson and Tank Dell for Kyron Williams and Jalen Waddle?
Kyron Waddle. Okay, thank you for your super chat, pal. Or your super chat, your phone call. Thank you, Zach. Listen off air or whatever. Listen to my answer. I'm hanging up on you. All right, I would say, sorry, Jay, the phone lines are closed. I got to get to the super chats. Bijan Dell, Kyron Waddle. I'd probably lean Bijan Dell. I just think Bijan's going to go on a tear. At the current rate of play, the Kyron side's a little bit better. But I don't know. I think Bijan turns it on. I still fully believe in Dell. I think Dell's an absolute, potential rotational monster. I do think he'll rotate. I do think he will. I think a lot of people are going to sit him, and then he's going to go nuts, though. 30 seconds to Charles. Go.
Hey, what's your opinion on Craig Reynolds from Detroit?
I think he's okay. I mean, look, St. Brown's, I don't know. I think there's too many mouths to feed for him to be consistent, but can he be a wide receiver 4 bye-week guy? Absolutely. Wide receiver 4, very, 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 very capable. Charles, thank you. Listen to the rest of my answer on the show here. I totally like him from that perspective, but that's it. It's not like he's a high-end wide receiver 3. You just can't be in that environment, especially with Jameson coming around eventually. Next next phone call. Peep is Brofist Brad. Brofist, you got 30 seconds, pal. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, Smitty. 12-man, 4-1, half PPR. I just traded Mixon and Gibbs for Eckler, but now I'm thin at RB depth. I have Herbert, Eckler, Cook, Chase, A.J. Brown, Olave. Nothing else really of note to trade. And Christian Watson. What do you think I have for moves to get some RB depth, or should I stay pat?
Name your team off again. You're out of time. The rules are the rules. Eckler, you smashed it on the Eckler side. Name your team off real quick.
Eckler, Cook, Chase, A.J. Brown, Olave, Christian Watson.
Okay. Maybe you trade one of those wide receivers across for an Aaron Jones. That's probably what I'm tempted to do if I'm you. That's really it. I mean, JT, Aaron Jones, ETN, Brees Hall. I think those wide receivers, one of those wide receivers you could trade. I even forget all the ones you listed off. Brofist, drop it in a comment. Give me your team one more time in the comments, and we'll see what the chat can cook up. But yeah, Grant, you're the last caller. 30 seconds. That Eckler trade was great.
Just traded live right now. Travis Kelce, Josh Jacobs, George Pickens, and James Conner. I got back Stephon Diggs, Jalen Waddle, and David Montgomery.
What did you give up?
I gave up Kelce, Conner, Pickens, and Josh Jacobs.
Jacobs, Pickens, Diggs, Waddle, Monty. Kelce, Jacobs, Conner. Yeah, I like that. You did good, pal. That's a really good trade. I like it, Grant. You did good.
Yeah, I have some depth pieces. I know I'm on the 30 seconds. If you're me, I have Chris Olave.
Time's up.
Smith.
I'm sorry, Grant. You didn't get it in on time. We have to stick to the 30 seconds. Chris, you're the last caller.
Can you hear me?
No, we haven't heard anything yet. You got 18 seconds.
Right on. Drop Tank Dell for Josh Downs.
No.
Okay, and I have a trade come in. Herbert and Mims for Henry.
Herbert and Mims. Khalil Herbert?
Justin Herbert.
Who your quarterback be?
Goff and CJ Stroud. I lost A-Rod and AR.
I don't know. I that's a tough one, bro. Let's see what read what the chat has to think. Chat, vote on that. I don't know that I mean, Stroud's kind of good enough. All right, read the chat, Chris. I think Stroud's kind of good enough, but Henry's like, I don't know. I just could he get back to doing something? I don't know. Grant, Grant, if you have a follow-up, Grant, put it in the chat, and I'll throw it on here, and we'll try and answer it, okay? So put it in the chat, Grant. And who else was it? Brofist Brad? And if the chat can answer me on that Henry one, I guess I'd lean Herbert. I think I'd rather just have Herbert than Henry. But it's a tough one. That's a real tough one, bro. It's a really tough one. Let's get these super chats out of the way, broskies. Bleeze with a $20 hauler. He says, Smitty, get a set in, baby. Get a set in now.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
12. Doing 12. Doing a set of 12. Appreciate you, Bleeze. 4-1 team traded JJ. Traded for JJ, Skywalker, Garrett Wilson, McLaughlin, a.k.a. McClitchin, for JJ, Spears, and Judy. Let's see. Traded for JJ. Skywalker, Garrett Wilson, McLaughlin, for JJ. No, bro. This is not it. You traded for JJ? Did you trade for him? I think you did. I would not have done that. I mean, Walker's coming off the bye week, Garrett Wilson included. JJ may not return. Maybe he does. DJ Moore, Watson, JSN. I would look. I'm not saying your team isn't good enough to win necessarily right now, but you had an advantage to trade JJ. Or I'm sorry, to keep Walker. Maybe trade like a Garrett Wilson and McLaughlin for a tiny bit of like a Devontae Smith or a Lamb upgrade or something like that, or a Olave. Now I don't really know what you do. I mean, maybe you still trade that. Maybe you still trade Garrett Wilson and McLaughlin for a Lamb or whatever. But now you're down the RB. The problem is, bro, the thing you got to look at, you're 4-1, so you got a little bit of a lead. I get why you did it. Maybe believes it works out. It might work out for you. I mean, if he comes back after 4 weeks, let's say the Vikings win 2 out of the next 4 games, and they don't want to trade Cousins, they want to get, some wins. JJ feels great, and he's such a young guy with no injury history. Maybe he comes back after 4 weeks. If that happens, then I really think you could, I suppose, win it all. Let's just say that. And Spears gets into the lineup and Henry goes down. This could be a really good trade for you. Let me start by saying there's a positive potential path for you. But Walker's bye week free. Garrett Wilson's quarterback situation could change. I don't know. I don't think I would have done this. I don't know that you've got a lot of trade opportunity unless you trade JJ now. But are you going to get more than Skywalker? Can you get a JT? Can you get something like that? I don't know if you even want to backtrack at all. Brees is really solid. Spears could be. We'll see what happens there. And I mean, he's so thin, bro. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't even think you got any potential to trade. I think you're holding. At this point, that trade was making you say we're holding. Because you can't get enough for Brees in a trade. You can't get enough for... Maybe you trade DJ Moore for Devontae Smith and you try and get like that guy's Aaron Jones using your McLaughlin. You know what I mean? So maybe take DJ Moore, try and downgrade him into Ridley, Olave, Devontae Smith, Lamb, Waddle, Debo. That's probably it. And see what RB you could get McLaughlin upgraded into. If you can pull that off, Bleezo, you might just have yourself the winning ticket. You know what I'm saying? But you're praying that JJ comes back. That's tough. $10 hauler from Ricky. 3 and 2. Hurts, Hall, Swift, JT. Thank you, Bleezo, for the $20 hauler. I hope I didn't feel too negative about you. Didn't feel like I was too negative toward your team. I was just being honest. I wouldn't have done that trade, but it could still work out. Like, what if Henry goes down tomorrow? And all of a sudden you got Spears and JJ comes back in 4 weeks. You could look like a genius for sure. But Hurts, Hall, Swift, JT, Achane, DeMarcado, Javonte, JJ, St. Brown. Your team's good enough to almost even hold on Achane and JJ. But I would keep Achane probably and try and trade JJ for them wide receivers you see all over the screen here. Waddle has an E in it. Why do I have that spelled wrong? You need to get more out of Waddle, though. Like, you can't just trade for Waddle. You can't just trade for Ayuk. You can't just trade for Debo. I think JJ commands one of these guys and an RB. I think, you potentially go after that Aaron Jones owner and see what wide receiver they have. Go after the JT owner, see if you can get... I mean, I'll almost take JT over JJ straight up, maybe, But you have a 3 and 2 team, and you're really good. Hall, okay, let's see here. Do I trade Hurts and Hall and Gabe Davis and JJ for Lamar, Bijan, Waddle, Moss? Hurts, Hall, JJ, Lamar, Bijan, Waddle. No. Hurts and Hall for Bijan and Lamar? I probably wouldn't. I like Hall a lot. But... I mean, trust your gut on that one, because if Lamar does bounce back a little bit and Bijan's way better than Hall, that could end up working out for you. But I think I'd keep the Hurts Hall side. I really like Hurts going forward. $10 hauler from Chris. Appreciate you. Chad, if you disagree with that Brees Hall or Bijan trade, please weigh in. $10 hauler from Chris. Smitty, I think I messed up. I meant to ask in my last super chat all of my players for Achane and Dynasty.
Someone is at the front door.
Who's at my door?
Motion detected at the front door.
Ziggy, show me the front door. He's worthless. Show me it.
Okay.
Show me it, Ziggy. Who's at the front door? I think we got like a food delivery. Oh, it's the mailman. Ziggy off. Man, that mailman is driving crazy. I meant to ask my last super chat all of the players for Achane and Dynasty. So C. Watson, Damian Pierce, Bryce Young, Gabe Davis. I accept it. I messed up on the worded question. Okay, I would take Achane over all those players in Dynasty. I would. I think Achane's that good. There's a risk to it, but I'm willing to take that risk. I really like him, bro. I think he's phenomenal. $10 hauler. Appreciate you. So hopefully you didn't mess up on the trade if I got that right. 1 and 4. Where am I weak? Trade ideas. T-Law, Love, Bijan, Brees, Gibbs, Warren, McLaughlin, a.k.a. McClitchin, DeMarcado, Keontae Ingram, Jeff Wilson, Debo, Garrett Wilson. I mean, you're weak at wide receiver till Garrett Wilson gets a quarterback, I guess, at wide receiver 2. But then again, Evans, once he's back, you should be okay. I mean, your wide receivers will be good once Evans is healthy and Garrett Wilson maybe gets like a Carson Wentz or something. I think it's inevitable, but right now it doesn't feel like it's on the direct horizon. The first, rising of the sun. It'll be one of the next few mornings on the horizon. Love, Bijan, Brees. I mean, your running backs are good. I don't think you can really divide and conquer much really at all anyway, bro, because who do you sell high? This is unfortunately, I wish I could give you a bunch of great ideas, but everybody on this team, and don't take great offense to this because I think a lot of them could bounce back, but everybody on this team is rising up and is not capable of being sold at the proper value. So you probably start you got to start T-Law this week. Just hope T-Law balls out, bro. Bijan gets on his horse. Brees gets on his horse. Gibbs in a couple weeks somehow gets an opportunity. We just got to wait on that. Hold him. Stash him and hold. Jeff Wilson, maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. That could be a great flex for you. And Debo, Garrett Wilson, Evans, that could work out. You got to wait. There's no divide and conquer. You can't divide and conquer unless somebody can be traded high. So you're unfortunately in a holding pattern. But it's still a good team. Don't give up. Should I trade CD, Smitty? Also, should I trade my A.J. Brown for K9? I'd probably rather have K9 right now because he's bye week free. But they're very close. And I don't mind... I don't mind holding either one of those guys. I think K9 and A.J. Brown are dead even to me. Given the running back climate, I lean toward RB when they're equal. Trade CeeDee Lamb. Depends on what you can get. I buy CeeDee Lamb. He's on this. Isn't he on this list? Why isn't he on this list? I didn't put Lamb on. I talk about him all show long, but I didn't actually put him on the list, I don't think. Let's put Lamb on here. He's definitely a buy low for sure. Lamb season, baby. I mean, not to the degree people had expectations for. I think he got overdrafted. I told everybody not to draft Lamb at like 10 or 11 or 12 because they were going to run more. But I do love Lamb right now at this current value. So I don't sell him low. That's what you'd be doing, is selling him low. Unless you're trading him straight across for like a Olave or Ridley or St. Brown, Mandatory 7-day for concussion protocol. That's why, says Michael. Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I guess tomorrow would be the day he gets out of the concussion protocol. No, they passed the concussion protocol before. They'll get a concussion on Sunday and they'll be cleared by sometimes Friday, Michael. I'm pretty sure. Am I wrong on that? I don't. There's plenty of players that get injured and play the next week on a concussion. It's all about the symptoms. They might be passing certain. I don't know. I'll look it up, Michael. I'll look it up. Appreciate you, Michael, for dropping the super chat. Maybe Michael's onto something there, but I'm almost positive that. I mean, that would make nobody able to play the next week, bro. I'm done with this league. Bunch of idiot, says Arjan. Heating up podcast. Christian Watson plus Bijan for Keenan Allen or JJ. No. Bijan and Watson by a mile. Like, you're going to trade for JJ right now off that? Those are some good pieces, bro. Hell no. Josh, appreciate you. 0.5 PPR. I would trade Amon-Ra and James Cook for JT and DeAndre Hopkins. I'd probably rather have... That's a close one. It's pretty even. I'd probably say give me Amon-Ra and James Cook, I suppose, but JT and DeAndre Hopkins is pretty decent. That's not bad. It's kind of exciting move, but I think at the end of the day, I'd rather have Amon-Ra and James Cook, only because you don't know when JT is going to be fully fed. They're going to ramp up his production this week. Trade Kamara, Mostert for Amon-Ra, Gibbs. I'd rather have Kamara and Mostert at this moment in time. It's just a better side of the trade, but that could change later for sure. $10 hauler from Mark. Appreciate Mark with the super chat. 5-0 PPR, 12-team Herbert, Tyreek, Amon-Ra, Devontae Smith, Madison, Roshan, Hawkinson, Achane, Mike Evans, Tua. Trade Tua for Stevenson and Garrett Wilson. Your quarterback would then be Herbert, right? So That's not bad, man. Also, can you pay Draven to call every night? Draven, if Draven calls, I'll answer. Okay, how's that? Draven calls right now, I'll pick up. Draven, if you're watching, the people want you. The people need more Draven. I probably would do this and take a gamble on that if you've got Tua and you're starting Herbert. But, you know, having Tua and Herbert's nice. If you get hit with injury, you're going to wish you had Tua, but it's a good move potentially. 3 and 2, just sent away CD for Hollywood Brown and Achane. I don't mind that. Hollywood's playing good enough that I'd take the gamble on getting Achane, and hopefully Hollywood, you know, holds his weight for a little while. Amari and Flowers for Kyron and B-Rob. I'd rather have Kyron. I think Kyron's playing absolutely phenomenal football. And so, yeah, starting running back Swift and Bijan. I'd take the Kyron side. Kyron side for me. Tyler, appreciate you. Just got offered Hurts, Olave, and Dell for my Burrow, Ridley, and Pierce. Hurts, Olave, Dell for my Burrow, Ridley, Pierce. I think it's pretty dead even, bro. Burrow, Ridley. I lean toward the Hurts, Olave side and Dell by a tiny bit because Hurts is not injured and Burrow's looking good but coming back. And so I think there's a little bit of concern there. So I'd take the Hurts side. Another trade, Purdy, Addison for Tua, Amari Cooper. I would take Tua and Amari Cooper. I think that's the better side, but it's arguable. Hey, Smitty, I think you missed my $10 hauler. Okay, I'll come for it. And Tommy Lee dropped a super without anything attached. You guys got to include it. Perps dropping a $9 hauler or $10 hauler. Appreciate you, Perps, to the moon, my guy. Perps to the moon. Tommy Lee, I'll go look for another message corresponding, but you got to include it in the message because by the time I get to the super chat, your other messages are long gone, bro. Smitty, your thoughts on trading Gibbs, Ferguson, and Flowers for Kamara? I think that's an absolute smash.
Got him.
Now, what's funny is usually, and I might be wrong on this recovery, but it's funny how people say, Smitty, I missed the answer to your super chat versus Smitty, you missed my super chat when... I don't know. I think maybe you went on a potty break, bro, is what probably happened. But maybe I'm wrong, recovery. Maybe I'm wrong, and I will apologize if I didn't get it. But I am almost positive I answered your super chat. Hey, Smitty, I hope you don't have to take a lap. I remember this one. I remember it. Recovery, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. But I love the wording. Hey, Smitty, I think you missed my super chat. I didn't miss anything. You went on a potty break, recovery, and I went ahead and read it. And I send you to the moon, and I'll send you to the moon again.
To the moon.
I said to this... I'll even try and recreate what I said. I hope I don't have to take a lap trading Gibbs and Nico for Ridley. And I said... I don't think you have to take a lap. Something along those lines. I said, I love this trade. You're not taking a lap, I think is what I said. When you're talking about two players I absolutely love, and I love Ridley. Of course, Gibbs is... not worth holding right now when you can get a Calvin Ridley or an Olave or a CeeDee Lamb or a Devontae Smith for that matter. So I definitely sent you to the moon twice now, and you deserve it, pal. Lupo says you're not leaving enough muscle recovery time. I am now because I'm rotating. I'm doing curls, shoulders, tries, and rotating through the shows. So we're doing it live now. At first I didn't because it was fun, but now we're back onto it. And Tommy Lee, let me go if I can see Tommy Lee's. Oh, Tommy says Najee. Thank you for the super chat. Najee must have dirt on Tomlin or something. Tomlin is Hillary. Thank you, appreciate you, Ethan. I don't think Tommy Lee. There we go. Should I trade my K9 for Lamb? No. Lamb is not... This guy's trying to sell you Lamb as if Lamb, like on draft day. Like he hasn't slumped this year. You 100% can't trade for Lamb at that value. K Walker has already had his bye week, broski. You know what I'm saying? $10 hauler from Perps. Did I already get to this one? This one from Perp says, thoughts on trading Gibbs, Ferguson, Flowers for Kamara. Oh, yeah, smash Kamara. Totally awesome trade, bro. This one's from Darius. Darius, appreciate you. Kenneth Walker, and James Cook for Pollard. I'd probably rather have the Walker Cook side. You got the extra RB, the bye week out of the way, but I do love Pollard a lot. AK, then I try and flip Cook, though. I try and flip Cook for like a doubted Waddle or Devontae Smith, bro. Lamb. Easy. Cook, you could probably get that done. Running backs are so bleak right now. You could probably get that done. Go do it live. AK, DeMarcado, and Waddle for Waller and Debo. Give me the AK side. And the fact that you got Waddle, too. You know, Waddle, Debo are kind of a wash. Well, hold on. Maybe I didn't read that properly. AK and Waddle for Walker and Debo. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I take Walker and Debo. I knew I had to go back to that. I read that totally wrong. Walker and Debo side for me. Walker's got the bye week out of the way. I like Waddle, but I like Debo a little more. It's close. It's very arguable. Like, that wasn't like a slam dunk on either side. That was very even. And Fane with the $10 holler. My boy Fane. Appreciate you. 3-2, 12-team PPR. Accept this offer. My Debo or Waddle for Godwin B-Rob. In a millisecond. I'd probably take, I guess, Waddle over Debo for right now, but they're both very good. I don't even need to know the team. I see it right now. It's a great team, but that value is great. That value is fantastic. I'd take either one. Beautiful trade. Beautiful trade, Fane. Execute it, and then maybe look to flip if you need to, but I'm definitely taking that trade all day long, twice on Sundays, even on Thursdays, on Fridays. Doesn't matter the day of the week. T-Law, CD, Ramondre for Stroud, Bijan, Terry. I would probably take the Bijan side, but by a hair. It's arguable, Michael. And chat, if you disagree, if the chat could vote on this one real quickly on the way out the door, please. T-Law, CD, Ramondre, or Stroud, Bijan, Terry. Please vote on that one on the way out the door. And the last super chat of the night, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. I'm live whenever news breaks, even if we're a little delayed on it. Sometimes I'm live 5 minutes after the news break. Sometimes I'm like an hour or two, depending on what I got to do and where I'm at in my day. Trade K9 for Swift and Spears. I am not doing this trade. I'd rather have K9, but I love Spears. I love the idea of getting Spears. But, yeah. Yeah, Waddle or Debo. I already answered that, Fane. I said I'd take Waddle or Debo in a heartbeat, and I lean a little bit toward the Waddle side by a hair. Double down Donnie, Fane. You're double down Donnieing, Fane. You're doing the double down Donnie right now. I answered that pretty clearly. You want a double down Donnie answer, Fane, but that's okay because you $10 hollered, so you get it. You get what you want, pal. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Please vote on Michael's trade on the way out the door. Stroud, Bijan, 1 vote so far. Appreciate that. All right, last super chat here. Big T, would I trade Puka? Would I trade Mostert and Dobbs for Puka and Madison? Probably take Puka, but like this week it could be really good for Mostert though, just so you know. All right, final super chat. 4-1, 12-team, full PPR, Madison, Roshan. Here's the team. Any moves and who to start? I don't know who to start, bro. Let's see. Fields. Oh, God, man. This is bad. The running backs are bad, bro. Really bad. I mean, you're waiting on everybody's injuries and everything. I can't even give you anything on the running backs yet. You got to wait for Wilson. Will he play? If Wilson plays, you got to play him. Roshan plays, you got to play him. Madison and Sharps are your 2 starting running backs right now. Maybe McKinnon and Sharps, I guess. I'm starting Sharps. I don't know about McKinnon and Madison. Hopefully Jeff Wilson or Roshan plays. Chase, Olave are obviously 2 starting wide receivers for you. And then probably Pickens at this moment in time. Any trades? I mean, your team, I'm just going to be honest with you, bro. The fact that if it's a 2 QB league, you're looking a lot more solid than I thought. If it's a 1 QB league, what in the hell are you doing holding both those quarterbacks? You got to trade one. That's plain and simple. You got to go get a freaking RB like JT or Aaron Jones using Fields or Hurts. And you got to do it now before it's too late. Okay, but Fane, if you're trading them, I think you misunderstood. Fane, it doesn't matter, though. My answer is the same. Just because you're on the other side of the trade doesn't mean I want to switch it. You know what I mean? So, like, if I misunderstood, you know what I'm saying, though. The Debo Waddle side by a mile. So don't trade those guys. Don't trade either one of them. They're both the Debo and Waddle over the other side by a mile. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull up your super chat real quick. Where's Fane? Where's Fane when you need him? Where's Fane's super chat? I'll try and pull up. Either way, Fane, you know what I'm saying. Waddle and Debo. I'm not trading either one of those guys in that situation. Bijan Chase for Barkley, Keenan Allen, Cooper. Bijan Chase by a country mile, Jay. Like, not even close. And let me find Fane's message one more time. Fane. My Debo or Waddle for Godwin. Okay, so even though I got it wrong how I read it, like, you heard me, Fane. I said I'm not trading. I take Debo or Waddle in a heartbeat. Debo or Waddle in a heartbeat. So just reverse that. Flip it around, Fane. Like, no. Don't trade for Godwin and B-Rob using Debo or Waddle. Absolutely not. Smitty disapproved trade, Fane. We're not doing it live. You don't have to apologize. But Fane, you got two really good players right there. Brian Robinson. Who's Brian? Like, I don't trust Brian Robinson. You know what I'm saying? It's not somebody that I'm just going after right now. I feel like, Fane, you could use Debo or Waddle to go get JT or Aaron Jones. You know what I mean? And don't apologize for being you, Fane. Just like I told Thomas. There's no apologies needed. Just do you. You're Fane. You can do anything you set your mind to, Fane. Thank you, Fane, for the super chats. Fane to the moon. I hate when people take offense to it. I'm your coach. I'm screaming at you. High knees, Fane. High knees. If you drop the baton, am I supposed to pat you on the rear and say, go get him, buddy? All right, Fane to the moon. Fane, let's send Fane to the moon one more time. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Monty and Laporta for Bijan and Ayuk. I take Bijan and Ayuk, but that's really close. Bijan and ETN for our two top 5 running backs. Hammer says, I think that might be correct at this point in time right now, maybe. Promo Codum says, Vampy, Isaac, appreciate you being here. Superfish, Scotty, Jack, Fane. Fane to the moon again. Fane, don't take offense to it. Appreciate you. Tua for Saquon or Swift. Thoughts? I would take Swift over Barkley, but I would trade for Barkley if Tua's my backup, and that's the one rare instance where I would buy Barkley. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. See you later. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday, live whenever news breaks. I'm out of here. Deuces. See you all later. Let's go get a Olave.
A top 5 wide receiver hides among the people. His cost of entry is near illegal. Few see him coming. Many stay away. His name is Chris Olave.
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
Feels like making love.
Outstanding in his fields.
Feels so good.
Fields general. My fields good. Uneven playing fields.
Battlefields tested.
Fields. He's for reals.
Thanks to my mods. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rock Out, for calling in. My Marsmen. Thank you to all of you. Appreciate you all. Hammer, Superfish, Shoddy, Travis, Wayne, Fane. Thank you, my boy Fane. Christopher, E11, DeBalt, Isaac, my boy Isaac. Who else is here? Finish. Thank you. AC, E111. All the people's in here. Shamrock, Jack, J-Fam, and then thanks to all my $20 haulers tonight. You guys are unbelievable. My $20 haulers include, if I miss anybody, please forgive me. Bleezo, thank you for your $20 hauler. J-Bone, $20 hauler. Isaac, $20 hauler. Isaac to the moon, man. Isaac's amazing. Lego, thank you, Lego. Mark Cleveland, appreciate you. Lego to the moon. Lego Batman, our in-house Batman. And we got Dark Knight, too. Brofist, Brad, Xavier, Oscar, Superfish. All $20 hauler extraordinaires. See you all tomorrow. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Thank you, QF Stops, for the $5 thank you hauler. I appreciate you. I see you. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.